Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in, thank you for tuning in. This is the closing argument, our Wednesday edition, the midweek edition. I am Jerome Gayman. I will be the host. As usual, we look forward to hearing from you and taking part in the conversation. Today is August the 13th. Like I'm saying, this is the second half of the year. So those of you who made your promises, your pledges, whatever that was at the beginning of the year, how are you doing? This is August. If you pledge to have gone on a diet to lose a few pounds, how are you doing? Those New Year resolutions, let's check. We're going halfway through the year. How are you doing? How's the diet doing? If you decided to not drink, how are you doing? If you wanted to be closer to God this year, how is that doing? How is that going? Are you going to church every first Sunday like I do? At least every first Sunday I'll be in church. If you wanted to do good in the community, how well are you doing? If you have done the resolution to be closer to friends, how well are you doing? If you wanted to settle that family dispute, how well is that going? You were keeping speech. You said, this year I'm going to let bygone be bygone and I'm going to reconcile. How well are you doing in that department? Before we go into our daily activities, I want to remind you about our personality of the week. On Friday or every Friday, I'm going to do all I can to give you an opportunity to nominate your person of the week. That person could be a clergy person, a clergy man, or a clergy woman, an imam. Do they have women leaders in Islam? If they do so, please send a name over. The person could be a politician, he or she, that have gone beyond the call of duty to do something great for the nation that benefits everyone, not him or her or her immediate family, but somebody that have done something that deserves recognition. Person of the week could be a politician, could be a clergy, could be an ordinary person that have done good. It's all about the public good. What is it that you are doing to make the environment conducive for better living? You could also nominate yourself. Don't be in the back all the time. If you're doing something great, let the people know. This is not about the big shots. It's about a regular Liberian, ordinary Liberian, doing some extraordinary stuff. So don't limit it to the guys who are giving a $100,000 donation, $1 million donation, or cutting the $100 deal, the $100 million deals. We are talking about Liberians that have gone beyond the call of duty. We are working on another series, and it is going to be called Liberia's Greatest Generation. We are going to be asking you, the audience, journalists, the prelates, academia, which generation can be considered the greatest generation in Liberian history? Is it the Charles D.B. King era? Is it the Arthur Bagley era? Is it William V. Tubman era? Is it William R. Tobler era? Is it the Doe era? Remember, I'm adding an S to those eras. He became a redeemer and then got into politics in 1985, and he began his public life as a politician, not as a militant. So he covered two eras. Or should we say decades? Should we say the best days of Liberia was in the 40s or in the 50s or in the 60s or in the 70s or in the 80s? So as the panelists come on, we are going to be pushing this idea whether we should do eras or we should do decades. But either way, we're going to determine Liberia's greatest generation. Are you a member of the greatest generation ever in Liberian history? We will call on some guests to give us their view backed by statistics. We want to see the data. If you think the Tubman era was the best era of Liberia, give us the data. If you think Talbot had the best era, give us the data. And why do you think the Doe era was the best era of Liberia? Do you also want to believe that Charles Taylor's era was our best days? Or do you want to make the argument that the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf era was our best days? Do you want to make the argument that the George Weah era was our best days? So we're going to have that debate. The greatest generation ever, Liberia's greatest generation. Would like for you to have a say-so. Tell us why you think your man or your woman's era is the best. We are looking at trending issue in the Republic of Liberia, popping right off the top. I want to go to the State Department. The State Department highlights government pressure, dismissal over social media criticism. We are talking about human rights in Liberia. And I'm presently on the website of the State Department, the executive summary. And it says here, significant human rights issues included credible reports of arbitrary or unlawful killings, torture or cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment, arbitrary arrests or detention, serious restrictions on freedom of expression and media freedom in Liberia, to include violence or threat of violence against journalists and censorship, trafficking in persons, systemic restriction on workers' freedom of association. Those are the charges against the Republic of Liberia, according to the State Department. And they call names. They mention Mr. Josiah Joker or Jokai. They mention Kula Fofana. If you are a public servant or you are a professional, this is not how you want to be referenced or referred to. If you want your name to be in the book of record, this is not where you want your name to be mentioned. But Ms. Kula Fofana, she had the tendency to either be welcoming or right out, disgruntled and disrespectful towards the media. And the State Department said in one instance, the media folks walked out on her. That's not nice. Mr. Josiah Jokai, the Joker himself, dismissed 9 government employees for using their private Facebook pages to express themselves and criticize their boss or bosses. That's leading the headlines. We go to Nimba County. The NDC has declared MDR Koto Wewombe Kwakru winner of the Nimba County District 5 by-election. Mr. Kwakru, winner of the Nimba County District 5 by-election. Sani Kwele, Nimba County, the National Elections Commission has declared Koto Kwakru of the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction, MDR, as the winner of the hotly contested Nimba County District 5 representative by-elections. NEC Chairperson Madam Deverto Brown Lasana, flanked by fellow commissioner, announced the result Wednesday after the compilation or completion of vote tallying and validation. Kwagru received 4,795 votes, 31%, edging out independent candidate Boris B. Ballier, who received 3,938 votes for 25.78%. And Augustus Kane Menkwa of Vote, VOLT Party, who garnered 3,080 votes for 20.16%. That's the elections in Nimba. Then we have competing interests here On the front page of the Liberian Investigator, it says Boycott $44 million biometrics ID controversy. Who benefited? Who briefed the president before the PPCC's rejection? That's a question. Same story. On the front page of Front Page Africa, Boycott pushes ahead with biometric ID deal despite PPCC rejection. For Front Page Africa, it says, Front Page Africa has obtained a leaked communication showing that the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, PPCC, rejected a request from the National Identification Registry to use a restricted bidding process for Liberia's $9.8 million biometric identification system. Only for President Joseph Boakai, just days later to issue a directive endorsing the same vendor that was denied, overriding the law of the PPCC. The Liberia Investigator goes thus far and says, documentary evidence, travel records, and insider accounts suggest that President Joseph Yuma Boakai may have been misled by members of his own inner circle into formally backing $44 million biometric identification contract with Australian firm OSD International, despite the arrangement having been rejected by Liberia's procurement regulators. That's the front page of the Liberian Investigator. Trending also, Liberia's Human Rights Commission questions judiciary inconsistency in the fight against drugs. Let me welcome Mr. Nagbe. How you doing there, sir?
Mr. Gayman, how are you, my brother? It's good to be with you again.
I was going through the human rights record here, and I saw several names. I want to congratulate you. Your name didn't appear there. You're doing good.
I tried to avoid being tortured, so I didn't get on it. Yeah, but I kind of read the summary, so I didn't get the names. I read the one published by our friend Bede Toga, the whistleblower. Right. And so basically he mentioned the areas of concern, extrajudicial killings, summary detentions, violations, rule of law. I mean, it sings and sounds just like what we all were talking about during the last government. So, it looks like this government is matching the previous government blow for blow. Very unfortunate.
Maybe even more.
Yeah.
Under the previous government, we didn't see union, like what happened in King George with 5 people being killed. We never saw that. But I am on the State Department's website, and the summary says here, significant human rights issues include credible reports of arbitrary or unlawful killings, torture, or cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment, arbitrary arrest or detention, serious restriction on freedom of expression and media freedom, including violence or threat of violence against journalists and censorship, human trafficking, and systemic restriction on workers' freedom of association. Those were the concerns of the State Department. I don't know what to say, but then in that report, which are found to be very disturbing, they mention Josiah Jokai. And they mentioned the presidential press secretary, Mrs. Fofana. The United States State Department 2024 report on human rights practices have flagged incidents in Liberia where government action places limits on freedom of expression, despite constitutional protection. According to the report, the Constitution provides for freedom of expression, including for members of the press and other media. And the government generally respect these rights, although in some official limit. It is noted individuals were generally free to criticize the government publicly or privately, but government officials sometimes use dismissal or threat of dismissal from employment to place limits on freedom of expression for public servants. One incident cited in the report occurred in August when the Monrovia City Corporation dismissed 9 city employees following an allegation they used their social media to criticize government officials and the president. Additional details surrounding the dismissal emerged in March when City Service Agency CSA Director General Josiah Jokai publicly called for the termination of 9 MCC employees over what he described as a deadly social media campaign against senior officials, particularly President Joseph Boakai. I told you this, and I said this on other platforms, that this Josiah Joker gentleman was dangerous. And a friend of mine, who is a friend of his, said that I was being harsh on Josiah Joker. But here we are. In the 80s, there was a Democratic commercial, presidential commercial. I think that was run by Walter Mondale. So where is the beef? If you remember that. Where is the beef? They had this old lady.
Yeah.
Bought this.
Was he asking Dan Quayle, I believe it was? Was he asking Dan Quayle?
Yeah, after the debate, the commercial came out. The old lady Chief, you need to be muted. There you go. You need to be muted. There you go.
Hello, Chief. You begin and say, yo, don't forget about us. Please mute. Yeah, but I think you're right. I believe Walter Mondale was the Democrat. I think I'm not sure if it was Dan Quayle, but I remember that expression. You know, where is the beef?
Yeah, the old lady she bought her burger and she's looking at them. Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
When we bring out these topics, people say, show all the facts.
Yeah.
Where is the data?
Where is the beef? But you're talking about Josiah Jokai, and you know he is really he is a difficult act to follow. He seems to be doing a lot of laudable, job at the civil service, but then he also presents himself as a fanatic, as a praise singer at times. He takes this whole government thing very personally. You can't say anything negative or anything that may not sound favorable to this government, and he's going to come after you. And so, I remember the kids. We all remember at the city hall, which is not even, I don't think it's his purview to call for the dismissal of anybody. I don't think that's his job. But he called for these people to be dismissed simply because they spoke against the government. Something that he is on record. I mean, he has indicated after the election results were declared and everything that President Weah was not his president. He was on record for doing the same thing. And I don't believe anybody went after him then. So, it's disappointment. These guys get in government and they drink the Kool-Aid. It's like they forget themselves.
Here is a detailed tension between the government and the press. The report referenced June 20 meeting where Presidential Press Secretary Kula Fofana and the media executive turned contentious, leading several editors to walk out. This incident, it explained, arose concerning new accreditation requirement for journalists covering the executive mansion, including police clearances, institutional staff clearances, and so forth, so on. These people are using everything that they can within their purview to stop for the media. If you don't play ball with them, they will not give you accreditation to go to the White House or to the executive mansion. This is what the State Department is saying. Let me welcome the chief. Let me welcome the dean of the cabinet, Mr. Is that Pewee or half of Pewee?
Pewee.
Command. Yeah.
You got to fix your saying, Pewee.
That two-thirds. There you go.
Yeah. But
and I'm still seeing half of Pewee.
Pewee, fix yourself better, Pewee.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Pewee, and you got somebody in the back there.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we want to say welcome to the closing argument, everybody, again. We'll be, as we said, we honor reforms and rebranding. So I would turn the floor over to the dean to introduce our new.
No, go ahead. Go ahead with the introduction.
I put it in the chat room already.
You got to mute, Chief. You got to mute.
So we present our first female hire, our first female correspondent in Monrovia. She's her name is Princess Kosioba. She's a graduate of the Peter Kwekwe School of Journalism. Princess brings a strong background in reporting, having worked with KMTV and intern at ECOWAS Radio, along with exceptional writing skills. That'll be a valuable asset to our team. Let's give Princess a warm welcome to the closing argument. Princess Kosioba, welcome to the closing argument. You see, I will meet Mr. Gayman, Mr. Nagbe, Mr. Pewee, and other guys will come, but welcome. And we're happy that you can be a part of our team as the first female correspondent we have on the ground to be helping Thompson and Myean. So we now welcome you and give you opportunity to speak to introduce yourself more and in that 3 minutes and tell the people who you are. The floor is all yours.
Okay. Thank you to the team. Thanks for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here. Like you said, Princess Kosioba graduated from the Peter Kwekwe School of Journalism and currently schooling from the University of Liberia. So it feels good to be here. And thanks to the team, I've been following the closing argument for a while now, and I want to say, it feels good though, because being that follower, watching a show and you have the opportunity to be there today, it feels good. And I'm excited to be here, and there are a lot we have to contribute, but now we are here to observe, though the work is to be done. And we believe with the effort, a lot will be contributed to the closing argument.
Thank you. We'll now get the floor over to Mr. Pewee, Mr. Gayman, and Mr. Nagbe to also welcome Princess.
Let me say, I think there was a brief interaction yesterday, and I think it is quite frankly a very good thing to have you part of the team, and we look forward to your extraordinary expertise you bring from.
He's driving. That's why he's getting some breakage.
Can you get me?
Yeah.
You gotta keep your eye on the road. You can pull over, but yes, we can get you.
Yeah, I'm.
Because I see you got your beautiful daughter in the back there. You gotta make sure you keep your eyes on the road. Okay, while he's going through some spots there, Mr. Nagbe.
Hey, Princess, welcome to the team. It is good to have you. We're very glad that you are forming a part of the team. Best of luck to you.
Princess, are you there? Princess,
Yes, I'm here.
did you hear him?
You get into the question.
All right, Princess, apparently you didn't hear me. I just simply said, welcome to the team. It's good to have you. And best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Princess, I guess we gotta go and look for a prince. Tell me what you are a journalist. What your interest in journalism? What is your specialty? I know I used to interact with one of the women from Front Page Africa, and women's issue, children's issue, were her passion. What is your passion in journalism?
I beg you have to come here again. The network is kind of bad for my end. So the whole thing is fluctuating.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your passion in journalism? What if I were to ask you, what is your passion? What is it that, because I know Myean used to write about women's issue, inequality, and social stratification. What is your passion?
So for me, like I said to my bosses when we're talking, I'm one person. I believe that, when it comes to the issue of politics, you have your say, and then it's okay for everybody to contribute. So I love talking about politics, and I believe that going around people who have diverse idea when it comes to that, it helps expand your idea also. So coming up, I always like to listen to political shows. Like I said to him, I've been following the closing argument for a while now, and it feels good to be here. I feel like being in a space with the idea I have, and the mentorship I will be receiving from people who have, diverse idea when it comes to that. It will help me in my journey.
Thank you. Chief,
Yes.
the agenda is packed today. I was on the State Department's website. So we are talking about the U.S. State Department, the Human Rights Report on Liberia. We are talking about the election in Nimba, that the NDC have declared a winner in Nimba. I think you'll be following that too. Mr. Kwak Gru is the new representative from District Number 5 in Nimba County. We also covering, there's a question mark on Front Page Africa says presidential override. White House pushes ahead with a biometric ID despite PPCC objection. We are also looking at the Liberia Human Rights Commission question the judiciary inconsistency in the drug sentencing. We had the discussion. Now the Human Rights Commission is coming out that there is a major discrepancy when it comes to the judiciary, when it comes to drugs in Liberia. And then finally, we have the Liberian investigator on there. They're talking about Sir Joseph's exit deals major blow to CDC. Acting Chairman Kawo admits. So those are the trending headlines in Liberia. And then one series that I began this week is every Friday, everybody going to nominate their person of the week. And there has to be somebody that have gone beyond the call of duty to be recognized as person of the week. The person could be corny, they could be historic, they could be a Liberian that have done, it could be a politician that played a political hand that outsmart everybody else. Those are the people we are looking for. It could be an ordinary person that have done extraordinary stuff. So we'll be doing that. I'm calling some folks. Hopefully, Honorable George and Nagbe and these can help. I want to run a series either next week or the week after called Liberia's Greatest Generation. Who is considered what era is considered Liberia's greatest generation? Is it the Totmo era? Is it the Bagley era? Is it the Tolba era? Or is it the Doe era? So we want to find out which generation is the greatest generation. We want to make that, but it will be backed up by history, by data. And I have contacted like Mr. Williams, who is former journalist and government person. I'm about to call on Dr. Dunn. I'm talking about Professor Dunn. So, guys, Mr. Diggs, I want to hear before we go into the topics. What era do you think, who will be the greatest generation in Liberia, briefly before we go into our topics? If you had a choice, do you think it's a great topic?
Yeah, it's a great topic. I would look at the generation of I kind of biased. I look at none as greatest because I look at it from this standpoint. The people that were given up, that had the opportunity and were given a lot by the country have not given back to the country.
I noticed that. But we are looking for the greatest generation. Let me
go
to Gayman.
So for me, I say zero.
Zero. The greatest generation.
Oh, I will probably straddle two generations.
You can only have one. You can only have one.
All right. I would give it to how do we call the 80s and
Generation X.
Gen Z.
No, Gen Z is now Generation X.
Generation X.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would give it to the generation before mine because I think they did a lot to liberalize the space for us, and I'm trying to be as non-political as I can be. But notwithstanding, I think there's a lot of freedoms that we are enjoying today that we never had for over 100 years in this country. I mean, we all know Dopoh and all of that had taught 100 people down like dogs. But this generation came and stood up to the oppressors, and I will name them: Tipote, Matthew Sawyer, Marcus Dunn, Tom Wowiyu, Charles Taylor, Blamu Nelson, Konkalo. They came along and stepped up to an oligarchy, and look where we are today. A Darius Dillon can challenge an erudite and educated journalist and express himself how he feels about his reporting. Or we can sit here and discuss the sitting vice president, even the president of the Republic of Liberia, and go to bed, not having to worry about anything. This is remarkable. I mean, many of us taking it for granted only because it's different. We may not remember how it used to be. So it really matters a lot to me, and I'm never ever going to forget that. Yeah, there are a lot of good things done. Toba did a lot of good things. He did. He liberalized the space a little bit more, relative to Totma and Barkley and the rest of them before him. And I give it to him for that. That's why I wanted to straddle two generations. I think he did a lot. It's just that he was a victim of I don't want to say circumstance, but I think he was a little bit ahead of his time, and I think he became victimized by his people. But then he was also a little bit behind the curve by our demands, and so because of that, he was between two worlds, and I think it was a very difficult thing for him to have done, and so I will also give it up to him. So his generation and the generation of the progressives.
Great. I will give it to the Totman era, acting President Totman, despite what we say about him, did some great things, the unification of the country, the building of our infrastructure. We're talking about the executive mansion, the Capitol building, the Capitol Hill, and all of those things. So I think I have to give it to Tubman as the greatest. But this is just a tease. We're going to go into it. We're going to go there. We'll let the historian come and tell us. Let me go to
what I would like you to do as you go to Chief, as we go down, over time. Let's break it down. Let's break it down into areas of achievement. We can talk about football. We can talk about.
That's what we are saying.
Yes.
This is just a teaser, because when you come the next time we're ready, you will have everything ready. Mr. George, King George the One, tell us which generation, in your view, is the greatest generation of all.
Well, I mean, like, it varies though. It varies because.
Chief, I'm asking you for one. I know they're all great, but there gotta be one. You see, in the United States,
Yeah,
John McCain came and said, "Our generation that fought in Vietnam, that did that. We are the greatest generation." Other folks say, "Well, some of the people that fought in Korea and all of that." But tell us, which generation you think is actually the greatest?
Well, I think the generation that fought for multi-party democracy, the generation, I think, that engaged the government, the government that, I mean, the argument could be whether they fought, but did they handle it the right way? That's not another room for discussion. But that's a generation we talk about, because there was a one-party system in Liberia, and then right after that, the progressives, they decided to engage the government of the day. And many people said that what President Tomalin went through, he was just a victim of circumstances, because actually the person that was most brutal and was tough on the people and really held onto the one-party state or the Torgbean era. But Tomalin, the one who at least different, he opened up. Tomalin decided to engage the people, say, look, we got to open this country, we got to get the people involved. So that generation that engaged President Tomalin, that's the generation I think I will pay homage to. But yeah, so but quickly, I want us to this how they call it. But Siafa, you were asking. But we got a new person, a young lady who just brought on today. They had a studio in Care Radio Studio, because 2FM right now, they are not only having technical problems. The second day, they are not on the radio. So luckily for us, we got another station to keep us on the air. So Care is there, and where they are, they're in the studio. Right now it's a little bit late, so I want for them to give their updates about the executive mansion where they covered today. President Garguah convened an emergency cabinet meeting today, and maybe they were there, and maybe they can give us some update about that cabinet meeting, so forth, before we can proceed. So that at least maybe somebody got to be in the studio. I don't know who's one that will be there, but they got to be there until the show ends, because we have not come to that point where we have somebody going there to produce it. Just a job just be to be in the studio. But so I won't bring them on, so they can at least hold something on it. So you guys, something you guys can come back on. Y'all give an update about the executive mansion and the presidency and what happened there today. And there were a lot of big news today, right? The CDC, I think they said the CDC guy evicted today. Whatever. I know I saw that I wasn't really monitoring the social media, but I know CDC. I saw usually I'm gonna post on his page. They got a new headquarters or what, but a lot happened.
All right. So thank you. Am I loud?
Oh, we can see you, something.
Yes, the camera in the studio get a problem, but we are live on the radio. But the camera get some issues. So
Samson, while you're getting at it, this Seleke is in the back. Seleke Kromah. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah,
Robert is also in the back.
So yeah. So and so I talk about the cabinet meeting, about the presidency, and then also how they call him, Mr. Gayman. I think what happened again today, that human report I was trending to, and
all right. So today the president hosted his cabinet meeting, and it was specific about improving the country economy. There were key things discussed. Some of those were the issue of having a gold reserve, because this government said that because we are so rich when it comes to gold, but then we don't have a gold reserve like Ghana. So the effective before the end of this year, they will be opening our gold reserve to wherein our country can save coal instead of just exporting it all the country. So they want to have that reserve. And you also spoke about having improving our agriculture sector where our local farmers will be empowered, especially when it comes to feeding themselves, because yeah, he recognized the global crisis worldwide. He also spoke about improving manufacture, producing our own furniture in the country. He talked about empowering local businesses. And one of the shocking thing was the LRA talk. They also raised concern about our local revenue generation, where the LRA boss spoke about seeing how best at least every household can be paying tax to government, and that will also help to raise at least $1 billion annually. And then immediately after the cabinet meeting, we conducted two interviews. One was with the Minister of Information, where he was delivering, giving us some insight about what actually happened, but he did not go in depth with it. We also spoke with Manakula Fofana, who announced that the effective before the end of this year, we will see some changes, especially when it comes to LPRC, when it comes to our local revenue generation. She stressed that the president does not really have an interest in making an appeal in begging for money every time. So I think it's now time that the country generate its own revenue. And today that meeting started by 11 o'clock, and we left on a mansion by 6 o'clock today. And then today also the CDC, there was a rate of arrest, like there was a rate of inflation that came out from the court, where unfortunately for us, we communicated with Myean to go there, go at the CDC party headquarters to know what was happening, to provide update. And he was attacked today at the CDC party headquarters by one or two citizens who demanded that he return or give his phone that he was using to go live. And CDC also put up a blueprint saying that their new party color is ready. So it is almost like confusing the public. Some saying it's a blueprint, while other citizens saying that's their new party color is already ready. And
Yeah,
Well,
the connectivity there is kind of.
yeah, but from my understanding is that I think that's the former president's 9th Street resident there. I think will be turning into the party headquarters from what I'm getting. So I think that's what information I'm getting here. But at least the CDC is telling the people that they have a headquarters. They are not homeless.
all right, all right. So I will bring Princess into to also provide update because she was at the mansion.
I hope I'm live.
you
I
live.
don't. Okay. So just to add up to my colleague, as per the cabinet meeting that was held today, President Boakai, he met with the cabinet to discuss key government priorities, including strategies on how to strengthen the country's economic, to advance the facial reforms and improve the service delivery. So you have the Liberia Revenue Authority. They presented, some recommendations to the government as to, like he mentioned, as to how to generate revenues to help the country, and you have the Liberia Petroleum Refinery Company. They brief the cabinet on the operation that is ongoing, because it has been long, and the LPRC, they have not been involved into importing petroleum products in the country. So that is a boost for the country, and they will help also to boost the country economy. And you have the Ministry of Finance. They provided an overview of the current economic status. So that was just to buttress to him. And later this evening, you had the executive mansion posting that the book of condolence will be signed for the late Minister Grace Pay on tomorrow. Hello.
Yeah, you live. Go ahead.
The book of condolence will be signed for the late Minister Grace Pay, along with other.
Yes, according to the acting Minister of State, Haja Mamaka Berete, the official book of condolence of the late Sylvester M. Grace Bay will be signing. It will start tomorrow at the Executive Mansion Palace at 11 a.m. His Excellency Joseph Human Boyka, the President, will sign. The Vice President, member of the Senate, the Speaker, member of the House of Representatives, Her Honor, the Chief Justice and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, the Doyen, member of the Diplomatic Corps, the Consular Corps, the head of the National Organization, government officials, former officials of government, and member of the clergy. It will be done. Also open another one at the C. Cecil Dennis Auditorium, Minister of Foreign Affairs. So tomorrow they will start the book of condolence, and this is signed by Kula Bona Ye Fofana, Press Secretary to the President. Well, that's good. That's the usual protocol. When some of that official dies, I don't know. We're still trying to find out whether he will be buried in Liberia or in America, but we're still trying to find out. But Mr. Gayman, that's it, and that's your show now. We just want to make sure that we take the executive mansion stuff off the way. But again, Robert, Seleke, you guys were on the show, and Siafa, we got a new correspondent, Morovia Princess Kosiba. She joined us today. She started. She'll be our correspondent on the ground. I think she put on the page already about her coming. I look forward to seeing her, at least make her name. It's a closing argument. You can make a name there. Today, once you come on, you left for you. The next one can sky can be a limit. So let's see what happens.
Robert?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's great. So I'd like to use this podium to welcome Princess. I haven't seen her, but like Tomalin said, hopefully she comes on one of these days.
She was on early, but yeah, they're having a problem with the stuff.
Right. But again, welcome. Oh, yeah,
Hello.
You got to mute yourself, huh?
Yeah.
There you go, Samson. Yeah, but welcome on board, Princess, and it's good to be here, man. A lot happened today in Liberia. I'm not sure. I'll go back to Jerome, and so before we start, but it's good to be back on.
Great. Mr. Seleke, welcome. And we have our new guests. Well, not guests. She will be a permanent fixture on the show. We have been looking for a quality woman. We got one. Welcome her.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. So,
Princess Kasigba, WhatsApp audio.
Okay, thank you. Again, welcome.
Wait, so is Princess the reporter on the ground correspondent, or is she the new guest on?
No, she would be a reporter correspondent on the ground.
Okay, on the ground. Okay.
The Myean and other guy doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so Princess, welcome. And good to have you on the closing argument. The fact that you've accepted to come on board, we want to welcome you. And as Brother Robert said, looking forward to seeing you. On the show here. Maybe if not tonight, tomorrow or whenever it is. But welcome and good to have you. Looking forward to a great show tonight. Thank you.
Excellent. This is how you want to you want to be brought up on a job when the entire staff welcomes you, and it says that she's in good hands. She's capable. She's going to represent very well. I heard she's a good writer. She's a good reporter. So yeah, we're going to be reading most of her writings. Most of the women that I have interacted with, they have all had a passion in a particular part of journalism. Myean used to be, her passion was women, politics are also, but women and inequality and social stratification were her passion. So everywhere she went, she was profiling women's issues and all of that. Miss Princess is saying politics is her passion. She loves political stories. So she would be just like most of us, a politics junkie. So we're going to be getting into the nuances of politics as she goes on. But let's get started with the human rights report on Liberia. Let me start with let me start with the election from Nimba. Mr. Garguah has been named the winner of the district 5 election in Nimba County. I know you've been following Mr. Garguah. This is he. This is the gentleman that won the election. He replaces Mr. Koga in Nimba County from the MDR. At one point, we ran a story that it looks like everybody has abandoned the MDR. Nobody wanted to endorse this guy publicly, but he pulled it off. He won by 31% of the vote.
Who was his competitor? Who ran against him?
Okay, let me read it here. Saniquila, Nimba County, the National Elections Commission, NEC, have declared Koto Garguah.
Well, that election, I don't know if you waste an election, man. I don't not giving no publicity. They won away. Anyway, go ahead, Chief. Sorry.
But this is how it went. Garguah secured 4,795 votes, 31.39%, edging out independent candidate Boris B. Ballier, who received 3,938 votes for 25.78%. And in third place was Mankoa of Vote Party, who garnered 3,080 votes for 20%. I was a little surprised that this district, 4,000 votes can win you a seat in Congress. Robert?
Yeah, so I mean that's congratulations to him. I'm surprised that we knew that the special election would happen to replace Representative Koga, but I didn't know that it was even happening, and that we already had a winner. So I'm not sure why it wasn't given national, publicity, but I'm not surprised that a guy who ran on the MDR, as opposed to an independent candidate, won that race. So congrats to him. Now let's see what difference these guys make at the legislature. We have a lot of problems at the legislature. I think they are Liberia's problem. The legislature is our problem, because if we had men and women of integrity, men and women of principles, and men and women of ideas and ideologies and all these things, you will have the check and balance in our Constitution, but that's not the case right now. So let's see what difference. If we can mute ourselves, please, that would be great. Let's see what difference he brings to the legislature. That's all I'll say about that for right now.
Great. Let me go to Honorable Pewee here. He's right off the bat. He looks disgruntled. Tell me, this is national news, man. This is our national Congress. Talk to us.
I was disgruntled. I was just saying, because we didn't even give it any level of publicity, right? We didn't talk about it.
Did we know that the election was held today, yesterday, when? Did we know the campaign have intensified the way we put premium on the senatorial race? I mean, so it was discussing at the time, but we didn't put. I mean, we just talked about it today because we saw photos people talk about on social media that someone won, but there was nothing about the campaign. Did we talk about? I didn't hear you say who CMC or Theory in the race. I didn't hear you say that, right? As now, Mr. Nagbe will smile this one. we didn't see CMC taking interest in this one. We don't know why. So I mean, so that's not. So
but Chief, you are from the CDC. Tell me who the CDC feature in this race.
As a matter of fact, and there's no time, and you see sometimes to be a talk show or political commentator, especially a presiding host, you have to be observant and you have to follow the trend of the news. And to not give mis or misleading information. At no point in time did I ever tell you that I was a member of the CDC. So that you have to retract that statement and we move on. At no point in time did I remember.
Let me rephrase this. You serve in the CDC government.
Absolutely. Now you just said something.
Okay. Now, so, who did the CDC? Did you hear anything about the CDC from your?
That's why I said we didn't even put premium. We didn't even cover it. That's why I said why are we not? Because we didn't. I don't even know I don't even know what will happen about Nimba by-elections on this by-elections. So that's why for me, I wouldn't have interest to discuss it because we don't even know the candidates. I just seen the guy. Somebody posted today here in concert. No, that's all. So basically, for me, I don't have. But again, the only thing I would say to him is congratulations. We hope that's the essence of democracy. The senator, the former representative, won. He's in the Senate, and we have to fill the gap. That's what I would say to that for now. On a serious note, I wouldn't want to. I will have more interest in the next topic, but this time I would just say to him, congratulations to him. And is he an independent candidate?
No. MDR.
And the MDR. That's the home, the MDR. We don't expect anyone to beat MDR at this time. Pretty much that died. So, I mean, the legacy is still moving on.
But I was surprised that he won that 4,000 vote won a seat in the Congress.
No. Again, don't be surprised. So let me remind you that 1,900 won a senatorial seat before in Liberia.
What?
1,900. I was in, is it Riverside? And 2,000,
yes.
And 2,000 won a senatorial seat also in River G. So these are the candidates. River says, even Grand Crew, you have the winners not more than 5,000. No. So yeah, I mean he did in a district, but a whole county, 1,900 votes want to be senator in Riverside County. Riverside County, yes.
Let me go to the administrator of this platform. Mr. George, in the human rights report here, they are saying the government uses finance, sponsorship to strangulate the opposition, especially the press. At any time, do we have a package? Does the government advertise on our platform about events, elections, anything? Do they do that with our? Because the State Department pointed to it, that if you didn't sing the song, they will withhold advertising. They will not spend the money to you. So people are becoming to be self-censored.
Well, it's good that these things have been flagged. It's been flagged. I think there's a president. There's an ongoing debate of back and forth between Senator DeLong and John Colley, a veteran librarian. John Colley, where attacking them for this class reloaded. But I told the folks from the government, I said, class reloaded, you guys what you guys are doing to yourself is that you are digging a pit for yourself, because come tomorrow, because a lot of the journalists in Liberia are not happy with them, because and you have a show and what I'm hearing about them is that they are not journalist friendly, they're not media friendly, and because of that. So I can tell you by 2026, it will get to the point where these guys will be begging to come on platforms. They'll be begging. They will tell you guys, we want to pay to come to send our message and so forth. And because Right now, only those who support them are the one listening to them. As soon as the Liberian election takes a point where you have a viable opposition, a viable opposition candidate, when they say, okay, that will be Robert Garguah, he's the one that the people looking at to be that person that will challenge the status quo. Trust me, the guys they're gonna crumble. You see, like today, like what I was discussing with some folks today were talking about this CDC issue, and Mr. Dempster, the guy who evicted the CDC, people are, and he was in America, yeah, struggling, hustling, and doing his stuff, but for him to allow himself to be used by the government, because everybody know. I mean, I'm not freeing CDC for not playing a role, but for him to allow to be used, we all know the politics, to go after the CDC, to embarrass them, to disgrace them, the intention, I think, to do, and then because they wanted to satisfy the people, the powers that be. Tomorrow tomorrow he'll come to regret some of the things what he did today. Okay, it's also the same thing with those who go on social media and talk and say some things that's what to be saying, and the videos are around and hurt the people. Sometimes you want to give somebody a job or somebody you want to do something, that video being played, you know. And like I was talking to the Liberia ambassador destined to Italy, just so he called me the morning, we're talking, and I said, now your conversation going to the Senate. Well, where they're gonna be. He said, my man, I'm waiting a year. They're waiting for them to go and confirm me. I'm going to the Vatican, the Holy See. But I said, well, we'll be watching the process. So the human rights report that the U.S. government came out with today, they're highlighting these things. Because, for example, in any LBS is for the state, it's for the public. But I can bet you, if tomorrow CMC or CDC want to use LBS to do certain program, they will play games with them. Okay, and it's the governments have come, the federal government have done it. All the government that come to pass, they do all these things to people. But LBS should be public for the public. They'll say, well, we want to do a public event, LBS should cover us. We ask them, but only the government using it. Then they stop there. They got class below there where they think the message is being propagated. But at the end of the day, they are being flagged. They're being flagged about what they are doing to the press, the media, and it will come to haunt them. And I can tell you, from what I know the Trump administration will impose sanctions on sometime down the line on some people in the government. I'm very sure that will come to pass. Very sure. So I'm happy they flag it.
Mr. Kromah.
Yeah, so first of all, it's important to make this clarity, Sylvester. Just because closing argument could not speak about the election in Nima, then it was not an election, no. There was a process, it was open to the public, and that process has been going on, I think, about a month now in Nima County. Just that maybe we didn't follow.
Did you hear me say it was not an election?
No, but the way you saying it, like, you know, I think that we not see what thing because we not hear about it, we not talk about it, you know. But it was a process, it was an electoral process.
That's what I'm sure.
Yeah. I just wanted to make that
I probably listening to me. There are two things. You can hear someone to them.
No, but
you can't comprehend what it meant. So let me say quickly. I didn't say it didn't mean anything. I said there was no publicity on it. It was not publicized the way.
It was still an election.
I didn't say there were no elections. No. I didn't say there were no elections.
No, there was publicity. That's all.
I didn't say there were no elections. So you can go ahead. So
yeah,
you don't need to react to everything I will say. So now you just move on. So yeah, you don't need to react to everything. I said it was not a kind of serious kind of election, but it was elections.
Okay. Yeah. But to you now, but it was a serious election. That's what I want to understand.
It was just kind of a thing they were doing among themselves. So
okay, yeah. So for me, I would just like to give, a reaction to the updates, something and
hey, just a minute, Seleke, just a minute. Sorry, Mr. Gayman, could you let Jackson Seaton in? He's in the back.
Okay.
Okay, good. So again, I would just like to react to what Samson Princess was giving us update about the meeting they had today at the executive mansion, and part of what Samson was reporting, I think he mentioned about the LRA, a suggestion to kind of impose taxation on each of the household in the country. I don't know how they intend to do that, and all of that. But a country where people can't even get food to eat, then you asking them to pay tax. And in fact, in the interview they had today with the Minister of Information, I think the Press Secretary General, the Minister of Information, they said the LIA complained that bulk of the government officials are not even paying tax. Can you imagine that? But you want to go and impose taxation on ordinary people, but people that are taking, 3K or 11K for generator per month, they are not paying taxes. But you want to impose taxes on the ordinary Liberians. And this government, I don't know what they're thinking. Up to now, almost 2 years, you've not come up with a clear economic plan how to be able to solve it. But every day, cabinet meeting, and from one meeting to another, this is an old man, you said he had 43 years of government experience. And up to today, this old man is still having cabinet meeting to see how best they can even tax the common people who can even buy $15 bag of rice, to pay tax just so they can raise billions. I don't know how realistic this is, but at the end of the day, I don't know how they intend to do that, because coming again to just talk, this is something we Liberians are noted for. We'll come and talk all the big talk, but the implementation is the problem. But I hope it is not, another effort they try to impose on the Liberian people that, that they will be hearing a lot of cry about, that will be very difficult for people, because all of us on the call, we know very well that thing is not going to work, to say each of the household in Liberia should pay tax. I think the first thing you can do is to get people to work first. Once the people getting, they get somewhere where they can go hustle, then maybe you can tell them to pay tax. In fact, your own government officials, they're not paying tax, real property tax. But you want to ask people who are unemployed, and all of that. It's not making sense to me. But I think that would be my intro, Mr. Gayman.
Mr. Nagbe, the young man is saying this is the equivalent to, I think you heard this before, taxation without representation. We have no money coming in. We are not being paid. We don't have any job. The government is not creating any means for employment. The private sector is stagnant. The little money we got, you giving yourself raises and perks, and you expect us to pay taxes that we don't have. You're trying to take water out of rock. Is that a fair equivalent?
Well, I think he's right. People are being taxed out of whatever little earnings they're generating, and yet, access to the national pie is not being distributed equitably. And so he's got a good point. I agree with him. This government is a stupid government. They're not doing anything to improve the people's lives, and they continue to go after the people. They're driving themselves out of power. I got to say that. People are coming through different ports of entry now because of their taxation. That's not smart. They get up and go on class reloaded when they could pay into government revenues and advertise, and sell whatever information they have. All of them run agencies. They have money in their budgets for PR. They could give that money to Fagon and LCS or whatever and bring in money. They're not going to do that. They're going to go on class reloaded, and they're struggling. From all indications, there's no money coming in. Nobody's giving them any loans. They're not making that much money. So they're looking for money from all over, and they're not being smart about it. It's really surprising. It is really, really surprising how bereft these guys seem to be. And I don't understand it, because academically, from what we know, most of the guys in the government are very capable. But sometimes, their decisions really baffle a lot of us. It doesn't make sense to me at all. But I'll leave it to them. They'll figure it out. Today, I am celebrating Miss Fanta Kamara. She's been on the set here a couple of times, and I'd like to welcome her. Welcome her on board to the CMC. She signed on today as the chief communication and strategist for the CMC. So I'd like to, congratulate her.
Mr. Nagbe, did you guys inform her before appointing her?
Okay, I will just
I don't want to find out something quick.
One at a time. Yeah, go ahead. George.
Yeah,
George, go ahead first.
Mr. Kamara, I'm just to jump.
Yeah, because you just came on the show and the next thing we see like a purple letter.
So the
just-
West advocacy and all those things that the way in there.
Oh,
You know, and that's one of the reasons why I said at the time, I said people will come and want to smell other people's repetition. She came out getting on Madame Salif, a reputable woman like Madame Salif, Mary Brown, other people, and other things.
No,
and we
but-
said who behind the company? I mean, who behind this company? She can't get a name. Now we know who behind the company, but if now that she's into the politics, we will start hitting everything up. We know now who behind that company that the name will never have come out.
Are you- are you-
congratulations.
are you all done?
I think it's all right to go in
Listen,
part
one
of
at
the
a
but I
time.
don't want to know.
Congratulations.
Let it Ambassador
Are you-
land.
Are you all done?
So no, quickly, Mr. Nagbe, I think this is breaking news though. And I think
It is, Bravo.
it is. And so I don't want you to get distracted by the ANC and well, I don't know how to call. I thought Sylvester was a CMC. Oh, he's not. Okay. I thought he was a CMC exec. But no, on a serious note, I think this is breaking news. And if the CMC were able to capture Ms. Kamara, I think this is a win-win for you guys. I mean, remember, this is a young woman who Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf requested to run her campaign in 2011, and she declined at the time. And so, if this woman was being linked to the ANC or to any other political party, I think there will be
They will all be celebrating
across all of the platforms. So again, and so I think that you guys have done a tremendous job, convincing her to be a part of this. The only thing I would like to add, though, is that now what's going to happen, right? She's going to get chewed up. The politics will politics, and I hope that she doesn't seem to be someone who shies away from the media. She's well articulate, and she knows her stuff, and I'm sure she can handle her own. But there will be question about this recent advocacy and what was the objective of it.
It was not a genuine advocacy. It was never
See?
genuine. Never genuine. Never.
Mr. Nagbe, go ahead.
Never. No, you said go ahead. Raul, let me say this to you.
Thank you very
You
much,
said she
Raul.
rejected man and said you called the wrong campaign. That's a blatant misinformation.
So you saying she lying?
That's a I don't want to say it's a
wait.
misinformation.
So you think Fanta will come on public?
Who wouldn't want to be part of Manasani?
Wait. So Sylvester, be careful now, Sylvester. You're a well-respected man. So you think that young woman will come on a public network and she challenged the former president? She said the president, Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf, is not dead. She's still alive. To say that the former president, and this is how politics gets involved now. Because if it can be proven that she made a blatant lie, then I don't think that's good on her part. But I don't.
I'm saying to you that is now again, Robert. You see, and I like your judgment sometimes, but sometimes again, you do some half-baked analysis, and sometimes you throw you on the other side, right?
No, I don't think she will lie. So let
me put it back to you. There's a lady that came here attacking the former president. You think she will say anything that will be factually correct? There will be. You think there will be anything factually correct when she already attacked?
She did not come here to attack. No. I think this is my time. You interrupted me.
You think that will be?
Your information is
go ahead.
misleading.
Go ahead. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead.
She didn't come here to attack the former president. She came here to tell her story. What happened to her during the regime of Madame Shirley? Madame Shirley people, they're all over the place. They always defend her. They could have come here and debunk everything she said. They didn't do it. But let me remind you,
when you know, Master, when I scoop that low.
When she came that low. So, but when she came here,
but go ahead. I will have my time. Go ahead, Chief.
I can remember all of us here encouraging her to go beyond what she was doing. And I think she's a very capable, very smart lady. I agree with Robert. We're not going to minimize her, whether CMC or not. And I think we shouldn't do that. This is a promising young Liberian lady, very smart in all capacities. I think we should all congratulate her. If she went to join the CDC or the UP, I would have congratulated her. And I think we should respect her and give her her shine for that decision.
Yeah,
so
quickly.
I will say my part. For your question, Mr. Kromah, yes, she was contacted before the appointment was made. We don't roll like that. But congratulations to Ms. Kamara. and I'd like to welcome her aboard. I am very certain she will come here time after time to come and make the case for the CMC.
Can you bring her back on the show as the new CMC, please? Can you bring her back?
Mr. Gayman, I would just say this before you can bring others in quickly.
As the vessel is available tonight, I don't know what's going.
Let me for the record state here that I'm thrilled by the appointment, and don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled by the appointment. I think the appointment is well on course in terms of she's competent, she's capable. No, I'm not here to doubt that, right? But what I'm saying here is the same thing Raul just concluded on by saying when we're coming to the politics and we're speaking equity, our hands should also be clean, right? We can't come with equity. This is a lady that came, she lambasted the former president, lambasted Mary Bros. He said the former president colluded with those people. They did unscrupulous things to undo her and all those things. But the company she was fronting for and all of the rest of that, called she said, oh, the person need to be protected. Call the company, no, the person. Now we got some real information about that company and who was that person to her that you're trying to protect. You come with politics in that way and you want to hit other people, you want to either you clean and you're not clean. No, so that's the problem is. If you hit on Madam President and you hit on this, they call the person company need, you can call the company need. Why they can call it? Oh, the party said they need to be protected. They're talking about, come on, man. If you want to go into it deeply, Robert, it will be very unfortunate. You yourself to withdraw certain thing in the place. I don't question people's ability to perform, right? What I want to do if we speak in equity, our hands should also be clean. That's the point I'm making here. So, until
anyone can come and talk,
let me go to Sarah here.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not.
Hey, Pewee, you got slow down. You got my brother. This guy gonna blow a gasket.
No, but they're not done yet. I agree. Mr. Nama ain't done yet.
Mr. Nama ain't done. Go ahead.
Raul got any interest. So
I would.
That's CMC. You're pushing now.
I will hand it over shortly.
I can see the signal.
I have to remind Sylvester that she also said she got receipts for all the assertions that she made. So yeah, she can be, I'm sure she will come on and defend herself. But for now, can we just congratulate her for the move?
Oh, yeah, congratulations. Yeah,
thank you very much. Thank you. Finally, yesterday, during my closing.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it to you shortly, Jerome. I'm sorry. During my closing yesterday, and I hope this is claiming the attention of all of us, there are moves on our way to recast the budget. I said that yesterday. Musa Ability has written about it. Yesterday, he was on Julia Jett and Michael Thomas, I believe he is the man in the house or whatever. There was a very, very nasty debate about it. Apparently, these guys in the first quarter of this year have already consumed all of their appropriations in the legislature. And now they're trying to recast the budget so they're going to refill these holes that they already created. They apparently can't go to the Lebanese anymore and credit in advance. All of that has dried up. So now they've decided they're going to recast the budget to reallocate. And I want all of us, all Liberians, to take interest in this. These guys have taken enough from us already. We've had enough of them. We should all stand up to this. We should not allow this to happen. All of us who know people, the president, whoever, let us please reach out and let us please stop this broad day thievery. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me go to Sarah. Sarah, your take on either one of the national trending issue. You can do the CDC, you can do the CMC, you can do the State Department. You're the queen here. You have a choice.
Or you can just cry for the eviction today, whichever you want to start with.
Well, I will do the State Department.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in this government. They came. First of all, sorry guys. I want to say hi to everyone. It's been a while. I haven't come on because
when you go back from LRB.
And I'll be in Liberia December.
Oh, okay.
December, me and my kids going for vacation. I get time for Rasta mission.
Abu and Jala and Joman Jala miss you the most.
So yeah, thanks guys. I said miss you too, but we gotta pay the bills. So I want to say hi to our followers and all of my haters in the comment section. I want to say I love you guys. Actually, I am disappointed in this government.
I'm saying that you're looking for sympathy in the comment section.
You came ready to know. You love fire up.
I'm disappointed in this RAS commission. Can you imagine these people came on the mantra of rescue? Rescue. And look at the report. Look at the human rights report. I saw somebody posted a comment there talking about the U.S. has lost credibility. Lost what credibility? The U.S. has lost no credibility. We still look up to the United Nations, the United States, along with other partners for human rights to be protected. And so, if our country is on the wrong side of history, they will flag it. And this is what we have. This story is very damaging. It's the worst since 2005, and it scares investors from coming to our country. Instead of United Party people focusing on it, they came about today running with CDC story because they want to distract the Liberian people from the real issue. The real issue is our people are dying mysteriously. Journalists have been censored. Nothing is done about it. The United Party has weaponized the judiciary. And at the end of the day, nothing can be done straight. Everything is politicized. Only a United Party has the balls to do anything in the country. No independent mind, nothing. They go after everybody for everything. This is not democracy. I'm disappointed, and I pray that the Liberian people will open their eyes to this reality. Thank you.
Great. Let me welcome from the Southeast, Honorable Seaton.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be back. Let me first and foremost say I want to say thank you guys for keeping the show alive while sometimes I am away. But I would like to comment on a couple of issues first. But first thing I want to say, kudos to CMC. They keep recruiting. They are looking for members. They don't have them. So they are running behind people. So that's a good thing. But again, to that lady, she's bright. She knows the issues. She can articulate well. But I personally question her credibility. The fact of the matter is she came here, she said all kinds of things about
Raul coming for you, Jenna.
Yeah, let she come. She said about President Sally Mary Broad, how they took contract for her,
Exactly.
they gave it to Zoom Tiger, Zoom Lion, whatever.
Now, our body
disgusting thing about Zoom Lion, which we all agree that Zoom Lion is not a credible company and it shouldn't be doing business in Liberia. But when we try to ask her, why is she pushing this narrative against Zoom Lion? She declined to give background on her company, who is the owner of the company. She was not being transparent. When we push her further, she even accused some of us of taking bribes to represent Spoon Network, which I rejected in the strongest term, and that was very disrespectful. Yes, CMC can recruit her, that's fine, but I think she has a credibility issue, and I stand with that story. Now, the next thing here is the human rights report that was released today by the U.S. government. I think it clearly shows that there have not been any significant change in the human rights situation in Liberia.
No change. Don't say significant. No change at all.
Our people don't have access to healthcare. Our people continue to languish in abject poverty. Our people continue to be abused and harassed and arrested arbitrarily. Our people are being killed without no avenue for remedy. And these are issues that need to be highlighted so that the government can take corrective measures. Now, remember, this government that is in power, the king took power on the mantra of what? Replacing CDC and doing what CDC did not do. But yet instead, they are in power. They have been in power for almost 2 years now. The same thing that they accuse the CDC government of, they are doing it, and they are doing worse than it. They are doing worse than it. So I don't know where the country is going, and I don't even think that even the CMC can even fit the shoe. with all of these noise that CMC is making.
Talk your own.
I don't see any political party that can fill the shoes of the problem that Liberians are going through and how they can mitigate and remedy those problems.
Okay. Honorable Pewee, let me read what the State Department says. It says significant human rights issues include credible reports of arbitrary killing or unlawful killing, torture or cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment, arbitrary arrest or detention, serious restriction on freedom of expression and media freedom, including violence or threat of violence against journalists, and censorship, trafficking in persons, systemic restriction on workers' freedom of association. It goes on and on. Your take on our report?
Oh yes, you know, when the part of this issue that eventually culminated into this rebuke of the Liberian government, the Boakai government, started when Josiah Joker at the time even dismissed arbitrarily, and we all heavily condemn it on this platform. Dismissed, I think, 5 or 6 employee of the nine employee of the city corporation, and that came out and said this was terrible, and there's going to be some consequence coming up. One thing I would say here quickly is that we saw these things coming. And just the last time I also warned Seleke Kromah as police chief. I told him to be careful, right? And if you can see the department, the report is putting in names of government officials. We have 2 government officials now. I think 2 or more. It's 2, right? We got 2.
Yes. We got Josiah Joker and Fofana.
Fofana name is mentioned.
Josiah Joker will have to be extremely mindful. I want to believe.
I'm sorry, Sylvester. Just a second. Tomalin, I think Anthony Gay has been waiting in the back. Thank you, Sylvester.
Yes, thank you. I think you have to be extremely mindful. I can recall this current Secretary of State said last time that his administration or the government of the United States will not allow any government whatsoever or any citizen of this country that will trample upon free speech or association of Americans or those that are engaged in any other thing thereof. I don't know Desire Joker whole status here, but what I'm trying to say to him, he have to be mindful. He will have to be mindful. If the report will capture you, it's not a good thing for you. Because he's the same Desire Joker that publicly rebuked the Weah administration when Weah won. If there's, I think the clip should be right. And he said those things, and he was allowed to exercise that right. No one went after him. Nobody. He said Weah can never be his president. Weah is not his president. And he dismissed other people. And what I would say to Madam Fofana, she's a very brilliant woman, very intelligent, is that she will have to open up again and exercise more prudent in terms of and democratize the executive mansion press pool. Allow people to come and continue carrying out their reportage. Don't censor journalists. You have to be open to the issue. But this killing issue, the arbitrary arrest, the torturing, and all those things, I mean, it's a hallmark of this government. This government, time to time, openly disregarded the issue of the respect for human rights and the respect for the rule of law. So, I mean, this is not a surprise instrument here. And they're trying to now substitute this news by saying, oh, CDC headquarters. No, that is not a major development here. CDC is going to find a headquarters. CDC will obviously get a headquarters, right? That's not an issue. The thing here is you've been hitting on the Liberian people. You've been violating their human rights. We've been on the war for many decades, almost 2 decades now. It's about time that we go back to proper democracy. So I'm not surprised this report is coming up. I will not be surprised unless their report will be terrible. I will not be surprised unless report will also be the same. So I think this is just a manifestation of what we've been talking about in time past and what the government have perpetrated against the people of Liberia. And I'm not surprised to see Josiah Joker highlighted in this report. I'm not at all, because he's behaving as though he's the deputy president of Liberia. He want to do more than even what the president is doing. if we will. So I mean, it's not an issue. But quickly, Seleke said, I will end here. Says something about this tax thing. Seleke, in our country, you don't have to be employee or non-employee. If you can build a house, we are not talking about hot tax. We're talking about real estate tax or taxes. If you can build a house that worth 10, 15, 20, 30, 40,000 going up, you have to pay taxes on those property. It's just clear. If you can build it, meaning you have some source of income. And to have income does not necessarily mean you are government employees, right? You can be a business. If you can build a house, that's why they removed the hot taxes ever since in Liberia. We no longer pay hot taxes, but it's a real estate, something that they can be appraised, pay 10, 15, 20,000. You have to pay small money of $30, $40 every year. It's not that much.
Mr. Pewee, will you advise the Liberian government to put stipulation on at what level should we start paying taxes? If your house is, let's say, 10,000 and below, you shouldn't pay. 11,000 above, you
every
should pay.
real estate you have to pay tax. You don't have to. I will advise the government to do that. If we don't pay taxes, how do we move the country forward? Right? We have to. If I got a real estate, I got real estate in Liberia, right? I got properties in Liberia, so I will have to pay taxes on those properties. It's just fine, you know. I don't have to work with the Liberian government. I will have to pay taxes on the property. It's just fine enough to do that. And I mean, they're not bring it on the other side of things, but we're not talking hard taxes here. We're talking about real estate taxes, and we have to do that. We have not been doing well in the real estate area in terms of paying taxes, but they have certain Liberian citizens that are normally paying their real estate taxes, if you will. But if the government trying to enforce that, to ensure that we push up a little bit the tax collection from the real estate perspective, I will support that. But while supporting that, I will also call for government to create more opportunities for employment opportunities, and so also those that are paying the taxes should have the worth of the tax they pay to the government.
And exactly. Let me ask you
1 minute, Mr. Josh.
Yeah, you know, because we have a full house, and we right now we cannot. Somebody can enter the studio. I'll be stepping aside to bring other people in the studio. But before I leave, let me say something. Right, I want to highlight Mr. Joe Monju comment. I think he's making sense there. Okay, I know people right now. If you oppose the government, if you oppose the Boga government, you will not support this. But he says the U.S. has lost its standing as an arbiter of human rights. It cannot accuse any country of human rights violation when the U.S. is on a daily basis depriving of the undocumented of due process. And he also went after my sister Sarah.
Okay, Tomalin, let me come in for a minute. Tomalin, please. I haven't spoken yet. Let me come in for a minute.
He said, Ms. Sarah, when you take an undocumented Cuban and you put in the South Sudan, that tells the world that the U.S. is not serious about human rights or due process. This is vulgar hypocrisy by the U.S. And honestly, I mean, take it or leave it. Depending on which side of the political aisle you find yourself in. But now, and people said it. People said the things the U.S. government are doing. Tomorrow, people will question them when they try to talk to people about human rights. They will question them because you're doing the same thing in the country. And you want to lecture other people about human rights. So yeah, these are the points people are saying. But now, Mr. President Boga, does he have the balls to stand in front of Trump or the U.S. government and say, you're not telling me, lecture me about human rights when you're doing this, you're doing the same thing in your country? Can he do it? We don't know. Can the foreign minister of Liberia do it to say, Margaret Rubio, you don't lecture about human rights? You're doing worse than what you're accusing of doing. Can they do it? That's the question. And lastly, Seleke talked about the cabinet. Seleke, cabinet meeting is very important. So I know he agrees that I support Boga having cabinet meeting. He can have 10, no problem, because that way they can do most of the discussion and face each other. So cabinet meeting is not something, not a bad thing. Cabinet meeting helps the government and they can all brainstorm. So you criticize a cabinet meeting, I think it's right. And lastly, I will say this: I just saw I just saw the headquarters of the Liberia. You got CMC now. Then you got the People's Action Party. The headquarters. They just showed me the headquarters here now. What are you doing, Liberia? So, how many party you have with election camp? Anyway,
350.
Let me bring somebody in because I gotta get somebody.
Everybody wants to have their own political party.
Yeah, Mr. Gayman, let me step in.
Come in, Mr. Dix.
I totally agree with Joe Monju, and then I will buttress I will add to it certain things. Like, America talk about democracy. When I came to this country, I saw smooth transition of power for the first time in my life. I was 21 years old. I saw Bill Clinton driving to the White House, having tea with George H.W. Bush, driving to the Capitol ground and taking the oath of office, and saw George H.W. Bush fly to Texas. In 2020, the current occupant of the White House didn't do that. He packed a bag and went away. So right now, America doesn't have no moral standing to talk to anybody about democracy or human rights or anything, because
so are you telling me our rights to be violated?
No. Listen.
Let him land. But what he says is not true. Let him land. They got this. They got
Let
it.
him land.
They got it. Go ahead. Let him land.
Why can't we set up our own rights? So somebody has to write a report, then we take it as gospel. Why can't we set up our own rights? I'm not.
Let
him finish. I didn't interrupt you. We're always waiting. We're always waiting for somebody to write a report. Then we take it as gospel. We know these things are happening, but
that's not true. There are local people who compare these reports. You know that.
But
no, he don't want to say it. He don't want to say it. He don't want to say it.
Listen. I'm not arguing the content of the report. What I'm arguing is that we shouldn't wait today. Then we start singing hallelujah because they wrote a report. These things have been happening in our own faces. That's what. So do we wait for America to write a report before we say it? That's what I'm saying. So I'm coming. So if America say everything is all right, then we agree everything is all right. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Look, it is all of what the United States.
1 minute.
Okay, let me close this. Let me close this. We need to stop looking. We need to stop looking for an arrowhead before we get up. When things are happening wrong right in front of us. I'll end right there.
Give me. I'll close it real quick. Give me.
Sit down 1 minute. 1 minute. Sit down. 1 minute.
Yeah. All of what the United States indicated in the human rights reports, those are issues that have been reported in the local media. The fact of the matter here is our people don't give credibility to the local media when the local media is highlighting these things. But when the United States says it, then everybody caves in. But all of these things are being reported every day. Why don't we take actions? Wait for somebody else to us before we say it to us before we take action. It's a shame.
This is what I would say. This is what I would say.
I want to go to Robert.
This is what I would say quickly to counter what Sefa is saying. Now, the reason why the United States government, they still got that moral voice to do this fight. There's just a disruption that's unfolding currently. Is it the pattern of the U.S. government system? No. The U.S. always been a beacon of democracy, a beacon of human rights. We know that. And we all on this show can vouch for that. They've been a beacon of human rights, and it's there. One of the major reasons why the State Department and other institutions will do these things, why are we still talking about the MCC thing? We're hoping to get $500 million or more from this country for that. So they say you put your mouth to where, Mr. Gayman?
Your money is.
We still hoping that they're going to give up the issue about sovereignty. There was a debate, an article we talk about sovereignty and other things. We are not as sovereign as you think, right? So those that can still help us, we have to tell us what to do. And now, when those reports are put out by Santa with Transparency, Santa, and all the other civil rights groups and the newspaper in the country, the QCFI, have you heard that the government of Liberia will act on those reports written by local human rights institutions in the country? The government will never act on them. But sometimes the U.S. government will sanction our own government officials on those things because they spend their money towards the protection of our democracy. They spend their money on social services for our people. That's one of the reasons why they're doing those things. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars. Total from the time we had a civil crisis, there's no country on I've spent money as compared to this country. So they will have to speak to us in that kind of manner. So they will help our officials to be in check. That's the reason why they're doing this thing. But those reports are, before the reports are out here to the State Department and other areas, they are written by local and human rights organizations in Liberia. Santa is one of those. Santa will write on transparency and accountability. We have four will write on different reports, human rights violation in the counties. The local data, so they will do analysis of all the reports coming in the country, then they put their reports together and send them. Everything they will say in the report. And there was the basis of that, the sanction was our government officials in the past. But the reason why they actually do the sanction or they put more on those and read those reports, because they are sponsoring those institutions in our country. They pay money to build the court system. They pay money to build the prison. They spend money to do this. So they will have to do things to get account of their taxpayer money to our people also. So that's the basic. That's the reason why they're doing these things. But again,
let me close up for 30 seconds. Let me close up for 30 seconds quick.
They are beacon of human rights, beacon of democracy.
1 minute. Let me go. 1 minute.
I just want to close up with 30 seconds quick. What people say.
Go ahead.
Let me give you an example. I'm not saying the report is wrong. Let me tell you something. If we start taking care of some of our primary businesses, then some of these things will not be held as gospel when they come out. Let me give you an example. Doing an impeachment or cabinet journey, where in the world lawmakers, oversight, representation, and lawmaking, you made a decision based on vote. When these people go vote on impeachment, when they go vote on budget, they vote secret ballots. Has anybody ever raised an alarm? Right now, if America say, when we talk about it, they say that America, y'all keep the American democracy. If America right now report, you guys shouldn't be voting secret ballot. Trust me. Everybody be doing there'll be a candidate. Am I lying?
I agree.
Yeah, so guess what? My point is, sometimes we need to take responsibility of our own actions. These people had an impeachment. They had an impeachment. We don't know who voted yea and who voted nay. But we still guessing today. Where in the world you see your lawmakers, where you elect them to vote, they vote privately. You don't know who voting. Arrest.
Thank you, Robert. You gotta address two things here because you've been quiet for a while. Let's go back to
can we get on the top plane now?
yeah. We coming to the harassment. I said media harassment.
Like 2 minutes. I'm more than 2 minutes.
Yeah. I said media harassment. On media harassment, the report stated, Press Association reported government officials occasionally harass newspaper and radio station owners, as well as individual journalists because of their political opinions and reporting. On June 26, when the Association of Liberian Community Radio demanded the reinstatement of Radio Kakata manager Jerry Kwei, who was suspended by Mangibi County Superintendent Victoria Duncan for alleged financial malfeasance. No proof. This woman is abusing her power as superintendent and removing the radio manager because she may have said something against the government that she didn't like, and she did that. She's been flagged in here. Your take on both of these issues?
Yeah, that, and also the name of Press Secretary Kula
Fofana.
And I think I will re-echo what the other guys have said. I think Sylvester was the one who mentioned that. I think she's got to be very careful because if care isn't taken in the next few years, actions will be taken by the U.S. government. Having said that, I'm baffled by they also mention her being involved in a meeting with journalists, the press secretary, with regards to accreditation. Why the heck is the press secretary even involved in media accreditation to cover executive mansion press conferences? Why? What kind of power is that? Journalists should not go to the office of the press secretary to get accreditation on covering the executive mansion. That is not part of her job. But because we do things so backwards in Liberia, because people are so power greed, they take on things that they're not legally or constitutionally should be taken on. And this is what this report mentions. The press secretary should never be involved in journalist accreditation. What are some mechanisms? Are there any background checks? These are things we want to talk about. Don't worry about the journalists, political opinions on what they report. They should be free to report on what the news are. Don't worry about their political affiliation. Don't worry about the headlines that they're reporting. Don't worry about these things. That's their job.
But do we have any security clearance when it comes to accreditation? So Kula Fofana, I think she got to be very, very careful here, because at the end of the day, this would not be about the Unity Party government. We've seen individuals who work in government. They have been, independently sanctioned. They're not going to sanction CDC. They're not going to sanction Unity Party. They're not going to sanction Joseph Boakai. They're not going to sanction Jeremiah Cohn. They're going to sanction you. And there will be no party to come to your rescue. You will have to have your day in court to prove your innocence. So I think we need to be very careful with that. I also want to talk about what CFI just said about why do we take the U.S. government reports seriously. The reason why the international reports are taken seriously is because our government and our officials only listen to the tone of the West. Our local media, they do not have the power to scare anyone in government. And this is the unfortunate fact. They do not have the power to scare anyone in government. Politicians are not even scared of voters. Politicians are not afraid of voters because they understand the dysfunction when it comes to, voters actually holding them accountable for their actions. We haven't seen people, you can say Joe Weah was voted out of power because he didn't do this, he didn't do that. You can say, people, representatives have been, but look at the people that they're replacing them with. They're replacing them with people who were also taken out of power for failures, and they're just recircling these people. So if the U.S. report, what is on human rights or whatever, if that's the report that will wake people up, then that's the report we're going to keep emphasizing. So this does not negate the fact that these things have been happening in the country. It's been happening. But what kind of actions have been taken? What kind of actions have been taken? Nothing has been done about it, about these things that are happening. And I want to join Seleke. This government is going 2 years now. You remember when CDC came to office? These guys did not. This is my frustration with CDC. Because the passes that Unity Party have been given on all of the key issues, Unity Party did not give CDC that kind of grace.
No, that's true.
They hit them from day one up until 2023 elections. They did not give CDC that kind of grace, Mr. Gayman. So how many more cabinet meetings are we going to have to start to see the needle move when it comes to economic empowerment? Where are the economic policies? Where are the and these guys are making Summer-12 to look so good. These guys are making Summer-12 to look so smart. Because under the CDC-led government, even if you did not like some of the economic policies, you saw the implementation of them. You saw that. The people talk about harmonization. even if it wasn't a CDC thing, our partners in collaboration with the CDC-led government, it was mandated to be implemented. You saw these things happening. What is one economic policy that have been put in place by the Unity Party to start moving the needle when it comes to private sector job growth? Nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. I will close on this note. I think we should talk about this report and not the CDC invasion, because you know what? Unity Party served for 12 years and they were evicted twice. In fact, they were evicted a few months before the election, and the eviction had nothing to do with the election. They still won. So CDC being evicted does not have anything to do with the lives of the Liberian people. CDC can either go and construct a new headquarters, or they can go and rent a new headquarters. Same thing Unity Party did. So we should not put emphasis on a political party being evicted. No, it has nothing to do with anything. I think this is a distraction. Let's talk about the Human Rights Report, because this Human Rights Report says a lot about this government and the changes they came to implement. It says a lot about the kind of rescue they came to rescue. Are they rescuing the people when it comes to security, when it comes to freedom of speech, when it comes to censorship, when it comes to economic empowerment, when it comes to security? or are they rescuing the people for themselves? Last thing I want to say is this: you want to tax people? You want to tax people? The whole tax structure in Liberia is you're taxing people who don't have no jobs, right? So to foot the bills of people who are poor people disguising themselves as rich people. Because these guys in government, what does the taxes do to the people? What kind of infrastructure development do we have on the taxes? Nothing. You're only paying bills. You're paying, oh boy, generator that's cost $3,000. So what are you using the taxes for? What tax is he paying on the generator bills that? Oh, listen, man, we need to stop this nonsense. Until we put in the mechanism to truly ensure that Liberians are in power, shut up when it comes to taxes. Tax those businesses. Until you put in a mechanism to reward small businesses, shut up. Because you know what? The people don't have the money. They don't have the jobs. Where are they going to get the tax from? Where?
Thank you. Silly, let me welcome the senator in waiting from Grand Jita County, Honorable Gay Senior. Honorable Gay, welcome to the show.
We have a group now. It's growing. The momentum is sparking up so fast.
What kind of group?
Listen, don't say it.
We'll talk about it in the coming days.
There you go. You in your third league, you won't tell anybody what our third league is.
So better. Another one now. Ask one group. We'll talk about it in the coming days.
Yeah.
No, Sylvester, trust me. I'm not going to do that with you. I'm not going to play no games here. You're going to hear from me in about a week from now. I gave you a call. In a week, I can always be on the show. In a week, if I don't give you the group, then don't pay me in mind.
You remember ANC? That's a good group. What are you talking about?
Before ANC, let me guys say this, right? Here's a strategy. We got to have a grassroots movement at the county level. You can't win the presidency without having footprint in the county. And I'm doing my part on the Grand Jita level. I challenge other ANC members as well to do it in other county. I'm doing it from my own backyard.
Kromah, where country are you from?
Man, I want to go on about Avonima.
Okay, so
that difficult question to answer. I see what you're talking. I see what you're.
But let me tell
the man challenging you to.
But I'm confused though. What Anthony is saying? What kind of new group are you talking about?
Let's stay on topic.
No, we are on topic. We are on topic. You say you challenge the ANC folks to do grassroots work. You got another ANC man, so I'm just saying, Kromah, are you doing grassroots work in Nima for ANC?
Mr. Gayman, let's stick to the topic.
Okay, I'll give you 1 week. Like the man said, next week, 1 week, you better come out here and give us a report. Mr. Kromah.
But give me.
But let me make my point.
The main thing, Mr.
Wait, you come here, man. You come here. Hold your radio.
I don't want to come in before Brother Anthony comes in, please.
Yeah, Anthony came in late, so you got to pay the price.
You can't send me that. No, I'll not pay a business also, but you got to send me the link.
You see, now you're going to say, I see the link.
I just want to tap onto what Brother Robert and my dear big brother Sapphire, point out.
Nobody's your big brother. Just call that name, man.
No, he's my big brother. And a special big brother. Why I say I got to mention his big brother there. So I beg you, Mr. Gayman. This thing, not CMC thing. I beg you. So the other thing though,
even like ANC collaboration.
Yeah, I see. He got
honestly, we kind of pay too much attention to this. The U.S. State Department, the different sanctions they've been given. But here is what I wanted to bring our attention to. And I think somebody was talking about.
And at the same State Department, your Senate Bureau running behind to sanction we are official. At the same State Department, your Senate Bureau.
Get evidence of that. So give me.
Wait after the sanction we have people with our affiliate.
Yeah. No, but if Kumis are actually doing that, that's a good fight. Sanctioning people. I'm coming now. Hold on. No, I'm coming. Hold on, Mr. Pewee.
Yeah.
If Mr. Cummings were actually doing that, sanctioning people who could not account for the Liberian 25 million mob of SSI, it's a good thing. Sanctioning people who are killing innocent Liberians in Morovia every day, every night, people like Jefferson Koji, then that was a good thing. But at the end of the day, you not get evidence. You not get evidence.
We have proved that.
But man, don't take me bail for Sylvester.
You don't have any record on that.
I will tell you that Cummings is a gay. I will tell you that Kumi is again.
Listen, man.
No, you can't say that.
If you say Jabasi Koji killed someone,
You know anybody coming laughter? You know anybody
Koji kill?
Everything we say here is nothing but speculation. There's
Kumi
no
is
proof.
not a gay. Kumi
You
is
know
not
anybody
a
like
gay.
Koji kill?
And you know that.
Kromah, answer the question.
Anyone.
Kromah,
Do you know
answer the question.
Sidiki, don't take the bait for Sylvester. I told you, don't take the bait from him.
Do you know anybody like Koji kill?
Yeah, you know anybody Koji kill?
Mr. Gayman.
He will not say it.
We will stick to the topic and I will give
Oh, you better stick to
nobody will take it on
The
track.
topic is Jefferson Koji killed.
The one the
So we
US
wanna know
the
who
one the
did he
US State
kill.
Department said, now I don't want to say it.
Why?
The US
The report didn't say that.
The report never said that.
They never
The report didn't say
said
that.
Koji killed someone.
No, go to the US State Department.
Kill someone.
Then you have to go back and read that report. He didn't say that.
No. Read
That
it.
the current report talk about
You
that.
not allow Sylvester
That
to
report didn't talk
make
about
you take a
So,
bait.
Professor, you will give me chance. You will give me chance.
I don't give you a chance. And that thesis
But
that you
Sidiki, you
talking
bring
about.
any propaganda
No.
here, we'll go
Arrest.
to the ghetto with it. You bring any propaganda here, we'll go to the ghetto. If you say Jabasi Koji killed someone,
So why you getting angry?
Anthony, I know how to
Who
make.
is
I
not
know
a
how to
gay,
make.
Sarah?
okay,
And
then
you know
Jabasi
that.
Koji did not kill anybody.
I know how to
You know
push.
that.
I
You
know
know
how to
that. So,
Mama, don't take
so
a
Mr.
bait
Gayman,
man.
Mr.
I know
Gayman,
how
you
to
will give
push
me the
Sidiki.
chance.
I know how to push Sidiki. Before we to be on this discussion, I want to say this one. You go, ooh. Go ahead. I can pull in. But go ahead, Sidiki.
No, but you're not pulling me. You're not pulling me.
I know I'm pulling. I want to eat your 6
But
months.
here was the thing. Here was the thing, though. Here was the
Uh-huh.
thing. You know, as I was saying, we tend to kind of pay too much attention to, you know, every report that comes from the U.S. State Department or the United States for, you know, in large. But let's look at the different sanctions the U.S. government been placing on government officials in Liberia. The U.S. government come up, they sanction Myean. Myean, you know, George Weah begged Myean to resign without pushing the code, the case in code for
Where
Myean
did
to
John
come
Weah
up.
beg to resign?
Oh my
Sarah,
God. Sarah, give me a chance.
No, but don't
Give me a
put
chance.
propaganda in
because
your
the way
No,
you
but give me a
are
chance, Sarah.
you said John we are back, he will resign.
Of course, I want to do. So give me a chance.
What you mean? What's the date?
in there, then you are working the fight.
Yeah, but give me a chance now, Sarah. You're not do
Yeah,
this.
but they're giving you a chance, but you be erroneous.
They
No,
will
she will
put
give me a
propaganda in
chance.
your statement and you want her to shut up. You
That's
put
right.
propaganda in your
Let's stay
Okay,
on
you get
topic.
a time. When you get a time to talk, you
Okay,
can
talk.
talk.
But we
ahead.
gotta erect a checkpoint because you can't
No.
just
No,
erroneously.
Lee,
there is-
they see
there
we're
is
here
no-
to represent ANC. We all here for our own party. Then
Myean resign on your own. Myean resign on your own volution.
Sarah, you will give
we
me a
are
chance.
not beg nobody to resign.
So I'm
Myean
not
resign
allowed to
on his
speak on
own
the show.
volution.
You are
not
there when
allowed
we
to
are
speak on
begging
the
him.
show.
But you keep
You are there when we are begging my girl.
No, but you Mr. Gayman, you gotta take control of this. So you
I
can
just
get
told
it.
control by telling you to tell the truth.
No, you gotta give me a chance to speak.
Yeah, but you gotta tell the truth.
Speak the facts.
Again, the U.S. government sanctioned Myean. George Weah asked Myean to resign, and Myean resigned. And Myean went to Margini County today. Myean is a senator in Liberia. So what I'm trying to say here is that sanction, you know, or the intervention of the U.S. government into the different issues or human rights issues in Liberia, it's not really making sense at the end of the day. Because any decision the U.S. government take, you know, the officials in Liberia, they are not being persecuted, they are not being forced to go to court to exonerate themselves or to prove themselves whether they are wrong or not. But at the end of the day, those same people, they go and participate in different elections. The issue of Myean, how you call this guy from Riverside, Bay Tuare, was a former port manager, and the rest of the other people. Today, they are senators in the legislature. So what we try to say here is that, you know, for me, I don't think, you know, it's a must, both locally and internationally. The local media, they point out those issues. We do nothing about it. And even the U.S. government we're trying to talk about, they come in, they sanction people. We also do not, to the extent that currently right now in Liberia, government officials seem not to kind of be a fellow sanction, because if they get money, you sanction it, it will go in wrong and they'll be elected. And so we really got to push this narrative where they bring people, or any government, for example, if somebody is being sanctioned or the U.S. government is giving a recommendation, the government should be able to follow it. But is this government capable of following some of the recommendations the U.S. government is giving? That is a big question. But at the end of the day, Sarah, you don't need to be correcting me. You get your time. This show, everybody get time to speak. When I talk, if you think I'm lying, you will get a time to make a clarity. But it is clear. If George Weah did not ask McGill to resign, why is it that today, McGill have never appeared in a court to exonerate himself or to even say all the people lie on him?
Because there's no evidence. There's no evidence taking to court.
But the government should tell us. The government should be the one taking him to court. But they didn't do it.
Kromah, you see, I'm calling you to attention.
He wants the case, he wants the platform to be chaotic.
The sanction, according to the State Department, it is not judiciary.
That's it.
Okay, that means you can't go to court. It is an accusation. Their job is, that's what it is. It is not something that they will provide evidence.
Yes, for the U.S. government, Mr. Gayman, but the Liberian government, especially your chief of staff. I'm coming, hold on. Your chief of staff is being accused. Your chief of staff is being accused of different allegations.
Of what?
Taking bribe from investors.
That's why he resigned.
You have to provide evidence.
As a man go to court and prove himself.
No, how you go to court? You got to charge someone. To charge someone, you got to have evidence. You don't have the evidence. How you going to charge someone? Anthony Gay. Here we are. We are talking about. Let's talk about different issues here, because my brother, Mr. Seleke, if he knew that if the United States sanction you, it has nothing to do with what Liberian does or what Liberia does. What sanction does
the U.S. government sanction?
The United States government tells you that when you are sanctioned, all privileges and honor that is associated with the United States, you and your children and your family will not benefit. You're not going to come here. You are not going to get visa to come. Your children are not going to go to school here. You are not going to benefit from anything that has to do with America. And if that alone is not enough, then I don't know what is there. But let me go to Honorable Gay. Honorable Gay, let's start on this one. We are talking about this on the front page of the Liberian Investigator. It says we got competing headlines here. It says here, Waka $44 million biometric ID controversy. Who briefed the president before the PPCC rejection? This particular biometric project, the contract was awarded and a company was denied. And the president has now overridden the PPCC and given the contract to someone that is very close to them, and there's a big uproar in Monrovia, and here we are. Then on the front page of Africa, it says here, Waka pushes ahead with biometric ID deal despite PPCC rejection. This is serious. The president has become the judge, the jury, and the executioner, overriding the law.
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Good evening to everyone. Look, Mr. Gayman, our country is in a very dangerous state right now. I saw the news. There's also a breaking news that did not make the news headline today, where over 4 individuals got overdosed and lost their life from illicit drugs today. A new stream of drugs in Liberia. And their lifeless body were left alone. People were just recording. I mean, it's very graphic. So a week ago, we saw on August 7th that there was a march, a national march at the Capitol for no to drug action in Liberia. We saw most of the government officials, even some lawmakers, wore no to drugs t-shirts in Liberia. And today, we saw the real reality of the drug issue in Liberia, where over 4 individuals' lifeless body were being displayed on camera from illicit drugs. Our country is in a serious mess. We saw the finance minister making a pledge to the Liberian people that no civil servant will receive $150 US dollar, less than $150 US dollar in 2025. We have gone 8 months into 2025, and there are people from the internal Affairs Ministry and other government ministry, including other civil servants that are still receiving less than $150 as a salary per month. There's no fiscal policy by this administration. Nothing whatsoever. We have seen this administration struggle time and time and again. Last August, I can't remember the exact date, but there was the agricultural program launched at the ministerial complex where it was said to reduce rice input by 70% in 5 years. Where are we today with that project? Nada, nothing. So this administration is struggling seriously. No sense of direction. Another waste of taxpayer dollar today, quote unquote, executive retreat. That again was another waste, because if we have a nation wherein our national ID card, our date of birth, will be in the hands of foreigner by a company called LTMI, it's a foreign entity. Liberian can process their own ID. All the country needs is to liaise with a security company that can design a software, and the Liberian government can purchase that software and manage that software. You don't need a foreign country or foreign entity to be printing our ID, our passport also being printed by another foreign entity, a Ghanaian company that prints the Liberian passport. Another person want to make an argument, oh, the British passport is printed in Poland. Hello. Do you know the circumstances surrounding that? It is cheaper to print it in Poland for the British government. And there is a reason why they did it. And that the British citizen printing it. Yes, it is printed in Poland, but it's the British citizen working there. This one is not the Liberian citizen in charge of the software. You understand? It's like saying iPhone is assembled in South Korea. Okay, yeah. It's assembled in South Korea. The technology is made here. You got to understand the context of things when you want to make an argument. Liberia, our country today, is in a serious mess. And as Liberian, let's put politics aside for a second and look at the living condition of the people. The former minister made a pledge, not my word, his own word, in front of camera, that no civil servant would take home less than $150 home as a salary. It is not happening today. 8 months have gone in 2025. This administration failed the MCC scorecard, the rule of law, the land item rule of law. They failed flat. Now they're having serious human rights issues. Josiah Joket, the director of the CSA, Action, introduced some bogus analogy the other day that they will take, salary advancement at the rate of 3.5% interest rate. I went off on him on his own post, and I have 3 different posts about it. The bank is struggling to get clients. People are not opening checking account, let alone saving accounts in Liberia. So the banking get customers to open bank account. So they don't even trust the banking sector. Consumer confidence has been discouraged by the banking sector in Liberia because nobody trusts the bank. You put your money in the bank, you go for it, quote unquote, system is down. You can't get your own money back. So guess what? Nobody wants to open a bank account in Liberia. The government had not put in place a fiscal policy, and the central bank need to put in a monetary policy that would give consumers the confidence to open banking account. This country called Liberia is trending on the wrong path under the watchful eye of His Excellency Jose Yumambuaka, the President of our Republic.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me go to Mr. Victor Nagbe here. This man is a politician. He's running for the Senate in Grand Jira. So I wanted him to talk about our $44 million biometric system that have been violated, and he's running campaign. Mr. Nagbe?
Yeah, but I'm just confused about the new group he's talking about. I don't understand. Anyway, But let me let you ever know that I misunderstood this point
I'm not
earlier.
leaving my ANC party. Let me get say that.
Oh,
That's reassuring. That's reassuring. That's reassuring. But look, yeah, the reporting on this biomed this national ID card thing is that this is a single source contract. Apparently, the PPCC came out against this very entity that is being awarded this contract, and it appears that it seemed like some of the information was concealed from the president, which I don't believe, because I think we're making too many excuses for our leaders. It is always somebody, but that's why they are there, to shine their eyes. But yeah, the process started. If we remember back, I think in June or so, there were reportings of delays, long lines and all of that, and then it was halted. And we had thought it was halted because they were trying to overhaul the process and make it more efficient. But they brought it right back and left the same institutions in place, same people in place. The only difference was that they had not given it. They had given it to the president's political advisor, national security advisor. My friend, brother Samuel Kofi Woods. But it appears that all of the concerns that were present, that were weighing this thing down, are still there. The president left everything intact, including the initial contractor and everything. So it really is, it's hard to understand. And now we're hearing all of this now that there's all kinds of nefarious things happening in the background. But I don't know where to this government. It's really difficult to find a bright spot with this government. It's just so surprising and disappointing. But yeah, that is the reporting. It appears there is something that is also pushing this contract to the detriment of the ordinary people who will suffer again, because the long lines, I don't think they'll be able to resolve this. And like my brother,
before you land, the report actually flagged your friend Kofi Woods as one of those who were pushing this particular company.
Of course, Kofi Woods, I believe, Mama Kabe, Ability again. The usual suspects. And yet we want to make excuses for this president for his indecision, his inability to make a decision. Look, I don't care if it is my own son or my own brother, or whoever it is. If you're in a government and you're not functioning, I think the president should do the needed and replace you with somebody. But it is the same thing we keep hearing. And look, I can tell you, nothing is going to happen about this. It is going to continue as is. Next year, to this time around, we might still be talking about it. Very unfortunate.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, time is fast spent. Let's go to this very important topic here. This one comes from...
Mr. Gayman, just 1 minute. Can I comment on the ID card thing? Just 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so this whole outsourcing the national ID card registry to a foreign company, it comes back to the same thing I was saying earlier. We never originate stuff on our own to see how we can start something from the start to the end. It's outsourcing, then it's easy. When some foreign country read a report, we take it as gospel. We need to act like an independent country, sit at the table, think on something from the start to the end, and get a workable solution. Thank you.
And to Sefa's point, I don't think this is any different from LMT. We were talking about the Ministry of Transport. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but Mr. Sefa Dix, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there was a guy by the name of George Famole. He actually put together something similar, a system like this, and he actually bid it. Okay, he was a specialist on the national. It was a national identification system he built that would have actually identified every home, every lot in Liberia, and numerate them. George Family has that system. I thought by supporting this administration, I thought they would have turned to him, because this man put together something that he said the Ellen government didn't look at, because he didn't have the money to bribe folks. So that these folks were coming, and his system when the guy talked to you, he knows what he's talking about. But because he's a Liberian, he doesn't have the kickback. Like
I
they are
don't
saying,
know.
It's
they are
possible
saying
we can
here,
have
I
our
don't know
own
why
system
our
like brother
president
Jeff
use
said. It's
our own
possible.
people. I don't know
Kofi
how our government
Wool's
can do that.
Kofi Wool's problem here is that this company is going to pre-finance 100%. It won't cost the Liberian government a dime. That is
Because they will
Kofi
be
Wool's
getting
plan.
cut. They will be getting the
Okay,
cartel.
but let's go to this one. Let me start with you,
It's not
Mr.
about
D.
anything.
So the commissioner Mohammed Dost Famula of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, INCHR, has raised concern over what he described as inconsistencies in the Liberian judiciary's application of the country's drug laws. In a statement posted on his Facebook page on August 12, Commissioner Famula referenced the August turn of opening at the 5th Judicial Circuit Court in Grand Cape County, where resident Judge Usman Faikai delivered a charge focusing on illicit drugs and multiple land sale. Commissioner Famula said his attention was particularly drawn to the recent sentencing trends under the amended drug law, which prescribe a minimum of 10 years and a minimum of 20, maximum of 20 years imprisonment for offenses such as drug trafficking, drug importation, and drug possession. According to Councillor Faikai, I've issued some of the harsher penalties in the drug, but these people, the law says minimum 10, maximum 20. And people are walking away with probation. People are walking away with 1 month, 2 months. Mr. Dix, here we are. A few days ago, people were marching, and I made it clear that it was staged, managed. Here, the commissioner is saying there is a major discrepancy despite what they are saying in public. Some of these places, they say drug is non-billable, but then they bill them out. So this is the conundrum that we have. We're talking about Mr. Dix. Your take on Mr. Famula's claim. And he's basically a member of the judiciary, and he's seeing the discrepancy.
Well, I'm sorry. I think it was it 3 years ago when they passed the drug law, and they focused mainly on sentencing. You know, to fight drugs, you got to fight like a 3-pronged approach. You got to fight the supply and the demand. The supply, that's the trafficker, the folks that run the ghetto. The demand side is the user, and you got to do awareness, you got to do treatment. But for some reason, they try to criminalize everything. They try to criminalize everything. I think, Mr. Gayman, you've been in this longer than anybody on this platform. You remember doing the crack epidemic here? They catch you a little dust of crack, you are doing 20 years. Somebody get a bag of cocaine, they get a ticket. You know what I mean? So, and then at the end of the day, the only successful thing that will like a lot of people. So this fight against drug has to be thought about thoroughly. I think they got a UN OPS that can give us assistance, but we have to sit down and come up with a comprehensive plan on how we intend to fight drugs in the country. Treatment, that includes rehabilitation, and the trafficker, these are the ones that need to get the brunt of the punishment. You can't go raid a ghetto and find a bunch of addicts and go and lock them up, and you say you're fighting drugs. So now when you raid a ghetto, the main seller in the ghetto, they're already gone because they get hit off. Because they're the only sober people in the group there. So this war against drug needs to be taken very seriously. As far as I'm concerned, it hasn't started. It's just all been talk. Thank you.
Sarah.
Yes, sir.
The article went on to say, according to Councillor Joe Faikai, had issued some of the harshest penalties in drug cases, including a 60-year sentence against a man who was found guilty on 3 counts: drug trafficking, drug importation, drug possession, by applying the maximum 20-year term to each. That's in Cape Mount. Then he said, but in contrast, he pointed to a separate case in Monserrado County involving the son of Nima County District Number 7, Representative Musa Ability, whose son was sentenced to only 3 years for a similar drug related offense, despite the law minimum sentencing that say minimum 10 years. So he's talking about a disparity in if we are going to fight this drug thing and we are picking people up. Why are we doing it this way? And I think I'm bringing it up because Mr. Benedict himself was here. He said this is a serious thing and it affects everybody. But this man, this other lawyer, this commissioner is saying it depends on where you are and who you are, that the minimum of 10 years may not even apply, maximum 20 years may not even apply.
So the thing here is, I think our major problem, one of our major problems here is implementation. We need to forget about the politics. We need to be intentional about this drug business. And I think the political leader, CMC political leader, being mentioned in there, where his son was released for drugs. I think he too should stand up and say, no, this is not right. The drug thing is not available. When you are culpable, you go to jail for so many years. So if they took his son out after 3 years, he need to send his son back to jail because his son need to be in jail.
The information too is wrong. His son is in jail right now.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
What makes the information wrong?
Because she said if the political leader's son is out of the jail,
No, she said if. She said if.
If he's out, because
okay,
the length
he's
of time
in jail.
The article here didn't say he was. He said he was sentenced to 3 years instead of 10.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's a disparity right there. That's and drink some more water, Seleke. Drink some more water. Okay. So the thing here is, Mr. Gayman, our problem here is implementation. And to tell you the truth, governments upon governments have failed us. They have failed us. Because we have to be intentional. Our young people are dying from this thing. We have to be intentional on all levels to be able to solve this problem. It's not about politics. It's not about which party you come from or whatever it is. I think all Liberians should be concerned about the level. I even read an article where the LDEA was saying that government ministers are also involved. So if this is true, then where are we going? Our young people are just vulnerable to these people. They are vulnerable. These people, they make all the money. They got the power. They got the contact. They bring this drug from the through the airport, through the borders and things, just to destroy our young people. And they will come when other people talking, serious people talking about it. They will come and be pretending like they're so serious about eliminating drugs. We saw what happened between the fighting guys when they were over there. They kind of think that happened. They were fighting among themselves. And some of them were even, we heard, were even, involved into a lot of things. We have to be intentional. That's just my point. We have to be intentional if we want to fight this thing. Let's put politics aside. It has to do with all Liberians, all of our people. I saw a video of a woman crying. The day the people were marching, they no drug people were marching. There was a lady on that video crying for her son. She was crying for her son. How her son had been destroyed by drugs. Can we see all that? Let's put politics aside and help our people. This has nothing to. If somebody is caught, even if the government minister, you have to be in jail for 20 years. Stay in the jail for 20 years. Let's put something out there so the people can be serious to fight drugs. Seriously, this is hurting our country.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Sarah on fire. But we got two things that I want to announce here. At the end of the week, guys, please get ready to nominate your person of the week. It could be a politician, it could be an ordinary person, but we are talking about ordinary people doing extraordinary stuff. It could be a politician, it could be a clergy person, it could be the president, it could be a political leader. It could be a move that will stand out as smart. And that person could be the player of the year, of the week. So we need to be thinking about that. Secondly, I will be doing a series or an argument either next week or the week after for which generation is the greatest generation in the Republic of Liberia. Who are you considering to be the greatest generation? Is it the Totma era, the Bagley era, the Talbot era, the Doe era, the Taylor era? Which one of these people will be considered the greatest generation of our time? I mean, this is a teaser. Please
It
don't
would be
say
that's a good one.
yes. It's a teaser. I want you to go home and do your homework, and let's talk about it. We want to have a serious conversation. We may bring some historians. We may bring some journalists, and we would discuss why. Some people say we should do decades. Some people say the 60s were the better part of Liberia. Some people say the 50s. Some people say the 70s. Some people say the 80s. And then some people say, no, we should go by era. We should go by either Bagley, Totman, Talbot, Doe. Go by era. And if we were going by era, I would say the Totman era. Why? Because, to me,
Yeah, thank you,
on policy, the unification policy to me was one of the greatest achievements of our time. Then other people got other moves. So think about it real briefly, 1 minute, without doing any homework. Mr. Gay, if you were to guess from the top of your head before doing
right now, I thought I was going to take a stab about the drug issue.
Well, that's fine. No, we're coming to that. But if you were to just guess before you do your homework, who or which era or what decade will you believe? Who are the best generators?
I think I'm torn between Torgbean and Doe. In between that time, that's when Liberians started waking up. More and more indigenous people started getting education because Torgbean helped educate some indigenous people, and Doe time. Prior to that, the segregation was just too much. Opportunity was not there for
so let's leave it there. We're going to come up with the data and the stuff, but that's good. He's leaning towards Torgbean, Doe, those two.
I think we got a lot of issues to discuss right now instead of that thing.
Yeah, so
Sarah, who is the greatest generation in your view?
Yeah, but before we have the conversation, before I lose my train of thought, let me make my point on the drug issue now.
Hold on, you on drug? Hold on, right there. I'm sorry. I just like the topic. You on the topic, Sarah. I will not let you go by this one. The greatest Liberia, the greatest generation in your thought.
I would say the Torgbean.
Okay. Counselor, our dean for the cabinet here, the diplomat, the greatest Liberia, greatest generation.
Yeah.
Liberia's greatest generation, in your view, from the top of your head, without doing any research.
The greatest generation in terms of was a little bit
achievement, history, whatever you think that generation have done. Liberia greatest generation.
My generation.
Which one is your generation?
This generation.
Eh?
This generation.
You're not part of that
generation. Gen Z. Gen Z. Okay,
Gen Z, my man.
Gen Z is in this generation. Generation Gen Z. Seleke, what generation?
Gen Z.
No answer. I'll make a research and come back.
Okay. Robert Garguah, the greatest generation in your view?
None. I don't think yet to come. I would not even mention the Torgbeans or the Does. I think Liberia's greatest story, I think it's still being made. I don't think it's still being told, and I don't think maybe in my lifetime, but I would not consider any of the eras or the decades as Liberia's greatest. Based on achievement, no, I don't think we've achieved anything.
Okay.
Outside of independence, no.
This is just a teaser. We'll bring historians here and they will discuss it. Mr. Dix, you want to tell us what you told us earlier about Liberia's greatest generation?
I'm here to find one. I mean, there's been failures. I heard Mr. Nagbe saying the group that challenged the status quo. No, I'm coming. I'm saying something. And then sometimes I think everything is done different in that country. Advocacy, I advocate today, and then I'm done. I say everybody should go on the right side. And the moment everybody go on the right side, mission like when people start going on the left side, I like, well, I did my part. Some of the things they advocated for, those things still exist today, and some of the actors are quiet. Some of the actors are in government. So that's my problem with advocate. And honestly, advocacy is a very tough thing. It's a very tough thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm yet to see a generation to say this is the best generation.
Victor, I'm not looking for a perfect generation. I'm looking for a generation that have moved the needle, that have done something, that have accomplished something. I just gave you my example of the Totman era, right? We talk about building of the executive mansion, the Capitol building, all the major infrastructure, and then on top of that, unification, bringing the country together. To me, that era, I think, put him over the top. That's just my belief, but the data will show maybe otherwise. Your take.
Yeah, I earlier I said I credit, and I think that generation I was talking about, the generation of the mid 40s, early 60s. I think is the boomer, the baby boomer generation. I will give that generation a lot of credit. Again, my reason is they helped to really liberalize the space as we know it today. They helped to knock down a lot of the walls, a lot of the barriers that were erected in the political space for over 100 years by the TDP-led government. I give Tobo a little bit of credit as well. I think he facilitated, some of the breaking down of those walls. And like I said, he was kind of sandwiched, between his generation that he was ahead of, and yet he was a little bit slow in moving for the boomer generation, and so he kind of suffered the consequences of that. But I give them credit. It is because of them today that we're enjoying a lot of the freedoms that we are. We can all come here, like I said earlier, and speak what the government is not doing right, and there will be no unmarked cars chasing you around. You gotta, take 4 or 5 different turns before you go to your house, or sometimes you gotta go and sleep out. And so, again, I will give them a lot of credit for that.
Thank you. Let's go back to the topic. We got 15 more minutes here. You were talking about drug. You were on drug. Let's go. Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's be serious about this drug issue here, right? Like Siapa said, I don't think we have started. Here's the reason why I said I want to agree with what Mr. Dick said, because on this very show we have the former, LDA boss, Mr. Kromah, and we also have a deputy here, Fatiga. I posed this question and they consented to it that we have over 1,000 men and women at the LDEA that are considered ASEAN agents, right? They are not on payroll, my people. How can you fight drugs, illicit drugs in the country, and the people who are risking their lives to help fight these drugs are not on salary? Are we really serious in our country? That's point number one. Point number two, not to be repetitive, when they get these guys who are the user of the drug, there is no national facility for them to get detox, for them to get rehabilitated. There is no vocational training center to put them back into society. You have to have a clear-cut plan. Where is the drug policy of this administration? There isn't one. So by holding a placard going in the street, no to drugs, yes, that's one aspect, awareness. But you got to have a whole robust approach to the circumstances to be able to yield the result that you are yearning for. You can't just say no to drugs and that solve the problem. You can also take a drug test publicly on camera and say you're serious about drugs, when the people who are supposed to fight drugs are not on payroll. Over 1,000 men and women, are they also enabling the way of bringing drugs to the country? We don't know. But they are not on salary. They are wearing our uniform with the national flag on it, our sovereignty. So this is dangerous for Liberia. Okay? Do we have the court system set up? Because again, another thing in Liberia is that cases are piled and have not been taken care of. What is the essence of having these courts that are not going after what it is? There should be a specific court for just drug-related issues. There should be a specific hospital for people that are using the drugs, so they can get detox, so they can get rehabilitated, so they can get treatment, and then giving vocational training. That person can become an electrician. That person can become a plumber. That person can become a carpenter, and so on and so forth. They are very young. We got over 100,000 plus. It will amaze you to know that in Grand Zwedru City itself, 8 communities have been identified as Zoko communities. 8. Now 1, now 2, now 3, now 4. But 8 of them. This is everywhere in every county. So we got to be serious about drugs. So if this administration would just sit there and sign an executive order or, say, oh, we forming the... How many committees you guys going to form? How many meetings you going to go to know that this thing is taking people's lives? So, Mr. Gayman, this administration yet again, has failed on this front.
Thank you. Sarah noticed that he's talking about Grand Jita. He talk about Zwedru. I think what county is Zwedru again, Sarah?
What?
What county is Zwedru?
What county?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What county?
Okay, we'll pass. Rawa Garguah, if you have any idea about the geography of Liberia, where is Zwedru?
Oh, but you should have said where. You said what counties?
Yeah, so which county is Zwedru? Go ahead, Sarah. You texting it? I see the woman Googling.
I'm not Googling anything. I'm not.
But she already spoke on the subject.
Pewee.
East, right? Isn't that the southeast?
Oh, Pewee, help us out here. Which county is Zwedru?
What do you mean, which county? I don't get it.
In Liberia, which county?
I think it's Grand Jita.
Wow. Okay. Now
but
you see.
is the city, it's not a county, it's the capital city.
Come on, Sarah.
It's not a county.
Sarah, I said which county? What I'm getting at, you missed the point. This man, he's
I think
running
you're not
for,
paying attention as well.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, he's running for the Senate in Grand Jita, right? So now he plugging all the bad things that happen in Grand Jita. So I'm connecting you. Be
okay.
Eyes on your feet.
Let me.
Smart, but let's go to our closing here. Robert, you got.
Yeah, let me take a stab at this real quick. Listen, kudos to the folks who organized the campaign against, say no to drugs. And I thought that was great. I saw that all of the government officials were on board. The IG was on board. Representatives, lawmakers were on board. And one of the things that I didn't like about that, endorsements of public officials was the fact that these are the guys who are the decision makers when it comes to taking serious steps to fighting the drugs epidemic in our country. If these guys truly care about curtailing drugs in Liberia, they have within themselves the power to do that. They have the power to do that. We spoke about this arrest agenda. The president, I think I'll give some credit when the budget was sent to the House. I think they had initially asked for $2 million on to LDEA. When it went to the Senate, when it was sent back, they cut, I think, almost $1.5 million of that, and ended up with under $500,000. And so I'm sick and tired of people just talking the big talk. If you truly want to do something, you have the power to take some serious actions on drugs. We cannot, as a country, fight drugs only by talking about it. We got to take serious actions. Since this civil crisis, we have not done anything. The government have done nothing to rehabilitate ex-combatants. We disarm folks. No process of rehabilitation. No process of reintegration. Those are the first initial steps you have to take. Then we also have to invest in technical and vocational trainings, right? The reason why people have gone back and resorted to taking drugs is because they're doing nothing. People are less busy. I mean, people stand in the streets, in counties, and even in Monrovia to watch the escort of the president pass by. I mean, the country is less busy.
People who are not working in the country have nothing to do, especially young people. And so if these people have nothing to distract them, if these people have nothing to give them hope for the future, if these people have nothing to build families, what do you think they would do? So listen, unless we as a government say to ourselves, we need to invest in this whole drug thing, you've got to rehabilitate, you got to reintegrate, you have to create an environment where these people can go and get some kind of, it doesn't have to be academic, they don't have to get a 4-year degree or two, they can just get a 6-month vocational training. And when you do give them that training, give them the opportunity to work. Do you think that people who are making money, yes, there's a possibility these guys can go back and use that money to buy drugs, but what I'm saying is, after you've taken them away from that, rehabilitate them, reintegrate them, train them, and give them some hope for the future, you will begin to realize less people in the street doing drugs than we currently have right now. Until we do that, we're just going to keep talking about this thing. We need to stop talking about it, and we need to take some serious actions. And by the way, come 2029, this drug epidemic will be on the ballot. And this will be unity. This is now Unity Party's fight. The economy will be on the ballot. This is now Unity Party economy. Infrastructure development will be on the ballot. This is now Unity Party infrastructure chaos. We will talk about these promises made, and we will talk about the tangibles or the lack thereof. We will talk about these things. So again, I want to see the government act, and we will sit on this platform. This is not about party or who wants out. I want to see the government succeed. But what we've seen over the past 2 years is more talking, more cabinet meetings every day. Then every day there's another cabinet meeting from the next. We have not seen any serious policy take action, kick off, and any serious changes from the government that they came to rescue and they came to replace. We haven't seen that. So we need to give opportunities to these young men and young women. That's how you fight drugs. Other than that, my brother, these people will continue to do what they're doing, and we will continue to protest. Government officials will continue to join these protests, join their voices when they have the power to do something. I want to see a legislation that says, you know what? We will invest $4 million in rehabilitation. We will invest this amount of money in building rehabilitation centers. And these people who are doing these things individually, kudos to them. Like Darius Dillon, kudos to him. I think that's a small step, but we need something on a national scale. We need something on a national scale in Monrovia. We need something in all of the different counties on a national scale with a national investment on it. And until we do that, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, we would not need to move on drugs. I'm sorry. And we need some radical changes at LDA. The current leadership at LDA, unfortunately, it did not work with the Fatigas and AB. The current leadership, I think they're worse. I think they're worse. I don't think old boy has what it takes to fight drugs in Liberia. I don't think he has that.
Thank you, Mr. Honorable Pewee. We have here, this is breaking news. In response to the human rights report, the president has urged the Ministry of Justice, the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, and other relevant agencies to undertake a review of the report finding and collaborate to develop and implement actionable policy recommendations aimed at strengthening the nation's human rights framework. The president assured both the Liberian people and the international community that the findings of the 2024 U.S. State Department Human Rights Report will be taken with utmost seriousness. This is
BS. I'm sorry, Mr. Gayman. That's
I'm not talking about Honorable Pewee. This is release just came in from the executive mansion.
Pewee, please re-echo that. This is BS. Please.
In your closing.
Yeah, okay. I will use that in my closing. I thought, and again, and that's why if you are into government and governance, you need to understand the proceedings about governance and other things. And leaders sometimes in the country, if a leader were to pay attention, that's why a good and he behaved. We lead just now is an extraordinary clap on the line from Mr. Boakai. That's what a good leader will want to do when you're serving. In this kind of thing coming from an international partner, what he just said, that's what a leader will move immediately to do. Say, okay, we're reviewing it, we assess it, we'll take actionable.
Can I ask you, Pewee? Pewee, can I ask you 10 second, Pewee? I will not give the president credit because this is a reactionary tactic. We need to be more proactive than reactive. To CFA point, these things have been in our faces. The president is aware of these violations. Why is it that he has to put a team together for review only after a report comes from the U.S.? Why?
It's not. That's why the report is a rebuke of his administration. But any leader, you're not sitting and allow that rebuke. You say, okay, we're guilty. He's melting guilt here now. And saying what we're going to take it. If next year report is coming and it's going to be the same, then I mean, you don't want to be the president of the country. But for now, Raul, even if you are the president, that's what you're going to do. That's why, and diplomatically, that's the best thing to do. There's the world most powerful country. This is a country that you want some. The president is hoping to get an MCC through. You think he don't react to the thing is a good sign for him? No, that's the reason why they reacted tonight. They reacted tonight because they need something from this government. They reacted tonight. They wanted to say those things. Now, I'm not saying, get me right, Robert. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that he's going to do anything tangible to change things. I hope so. But if that's the case, good. But he's reacting in the way and manner because he knows very well he don't do that, his arm will be twisted. We have something in diplomacy called the arm twisting diplomacy. And in the arm twisting diplomacy, there's an element of the big pocket theory. And the United States government can also use that. They got the big pocket and they got the power to twist our arm. So what he's doing now is to say, hey, he's instructing them that these are just bureaucratic measures they're taking now. Okay, we'll take the measures, we'll correct things, we'll take actionable decisions. But that you are now saying to whosoever, it's just like Raul, you accuse me, you say, okay, man, what you did to me was wrong. I said, Raul, I'm very sorry. Look, moving forward, I want to do the same thing. If I wanted to come and say, Raul, to go to hell, I mean, I'm arrogant. More or less, if I'm relying on you for certain things, you think what I would do? That's when you say, Raul, or you call me and say, well, your kid came because you pay my rent. You say, your kid, my children went to your home, but your kid beat them up and other things. And I know that you pay my rent. I mean, bring it in the line. What do you expect me to say? The first thing I'll say, I'm very sorry. I'm going to that house. I'll be to the house. And maybe you'll be here. One of my children crying in the background. You don't do that thing in the house. I'll say, you think you're going to lie? Then it will cool you off. You know that man took some actions. What he's doing, probably I didn't even beat my child. I just told her to stream. Then you heard that noise. You say, okay, man, taking some action. So what he's doing now is that he's trying to take a measure to show to these people that, and that's why sometimes when the leader care, they do showing some sign of being concerned, it also pay off in diplomacy, and that you took some actions, right? And so that's one of the reasons why I think they're doing this, and that's any good leader would have done that. Even if the intent is not, you would have done it to prove to people, because you're not onto yourself. You were hoping for them to do something for you. So the reason, basically, so Gayman, I'll close on this note, that we hope that these measures, the Minister of Justice will take actions and other things. If we see the police tomorrow brutalizing other people, jailing people, doing this the next day, then we know they're not serious. And this thing will be documented again. And if there's a report coming up to rebuke them, and this report may even is a concern, this report may even, it may be difficult for them to get this MCC. And it will also, it's a rebuke to them. Investor will run away from the country. It's not a good sign for them. It's a serious rebuke of the government. And they're playing with this. It will hamper them. So I don't see nothing happening in the country this year in terms of investment. And this will go for the next 1 year. I don't see no potential investors going to the country. They were going to be it's a concern that will have to be addressed. And I hope they address it.
Thank you. Honorable Deeks.
This is my closing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the president response, that's standard operating procedure. So I won't take much time on that. Standard operating procedure. We acknowledge your report. We're going to take steps to make corrective actions. Standard operating procedure. But you know, we keep talking about these civil society organizations, Singtao and what have you. Let me throw a question out there. Did anybody hear anything from Singtao during the speaker saga?
Yes.
I mean, did anybody hear anything from them?
Oh yeah, they came out.
Yeah, they
And what was the position? What was the position?
Yeah, they condemned it. They were on the side of the law. But the president can disobey the Supreme Court, who is Singtao.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I mean, sometimes these civil society organizations, I feel that they focus on working for international partners more than screaming, than shouting in the country that they're working at. So I don't take much from them. But anyway, good show. I mean, let's originate thoughts on our own that we can solve locally and stop allowing people to give us template that we can use for our national development, or else we'll never get there. And then one thing I want to put in there, August 11, what, 3 days ago, it was 22 years ago, August 11, when Charles Taylor resigned and left Liberia. So we are 22-year post-war country. See where we are today. Thank you.
Wow. Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely a great show. And we will always come on when we have the time to join you guys to see what we have to say to our people. And no matter what, one way or the other, something will stick. Like my brother Tiafa said, it's standard operating procedure. The president responded. The real action is yet to be taken. The Liberian people will be looking forward to that. We are hopeful that he will be able to talk to his lieutenants to make sure that they respect the laws of our country, respect the rights of our people, no matter which political party they come from. We are all Liberians. The president is president for all Liberians and not for specific people. So I hope the cabinet meeting they had, the retreat they had, I hope he kind of sound that warning to them, talk to them, ring it in their ear over and over so that they can know that this country belongs to all, our country belongs to all Liberians and not United Party alone. So great show. We'll come on here again and say what we have to say. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you. Mr. Kromah.
Yeah, good show. So I would like to close on this George thing that I think everybody was closing on before you bring in the report from the executive mansion. So the George thing is that, like I always say, is every family in Liberia, one way or the other, you are affected by this. Either you know somebody that is being affected, or maybe a friend of yours, is into this or whatever it is. And the protest recently was a good protest. And I think it was today we saw of news on Facebook that some communities already taking, actions by burning down all of the ghettos in the communities. I don't know if that is the right way to go about it, but I know that this administration came to power by, relying on what was happening in the past administration, even as far as going to accuse former officials of being involved with drugs trafficking. And so today, this not much this administration is doing to fight this thing, and I hope because we saw a meeting that the president had with the protester, I hope the recommendation they gave him, they're going to work on it, and it's not going to be business as usual. Let's see something tangible coming out of it. And what Anthony said, we cannot overlook it. You can have thousands of people, that are not on payroll, and these are the same group of people who go on the field to go and arrest, the dealers. Obviously, there will be compromise because the man is taking probably $60 or $50, and the man go to meet a dealer, and the dealer offer him $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever it is. He's not going to leave that for something that he's not even sure of getting. And these are the things the government need to focus on. Allocate resources into this thing, and the people who are responsible to do this, they don't do it. But whenever people come out to say the protesting, you will see the same lawmaker pretending as if they're very passionate about fighting this thing. And I hope we can come to a point where because this justice is really, really killing us. Sometimes you'll see a former schoolmate, a classmate, he's into the street, sleeping in graveyard, it's very, very sad. And I hope the government can do something about it. Thank you, and great show. Sarah, have a great night. Thank you.
You too, son. Be good. Be safe.
Thank you.
Mr. Gayman, please give my announcement, Chief. I'll send it to your inbox.
No, I'm giving no announcement. I gave you a chance to talk about your show. You talk about everything else except your stuff.
Okay, on Friday.
Listen, man, Mr. Nagbe talking, man. Come on. Mr. Nagbe, go ahead.
See, if you are sending it to me now, I'm going to announce it, but you didn't. So.
Okay, I will send it to you.
Thank you. Listen, great show tonight. Thank you all very much. Let me announce the CMC is going to be in Canada over the weekend.
And CMC, we're taking all the platform here now. We got to bring some CDC and ASC people on board.
Please,
well, you already here. You here
one time, Mr. Nagbe Mr. Gayman can shut up.
The American over here, he and Anthony, they over here doing they're doing the AFCT. Nobody said anything. Sarah come over here. She say her CDCT. Nobody say anything. Then she want.
Can you imagine you have a whole CMC man at the moderator? You think we'll talk anything here again?
Go ahead. Go ahead, man. Mr. Nagbe, go ahead and close your show.
I don't know, but anyway,
for interrupting you.
We will be inaugurating the pathway to change in Canada, and God willing, we'll probably join you while we're there. But we'll be there. Congratulations to the CMC. We know we started late, and so we'll continue to go out there. And there'll be naysayers. We get it.
I take our people in for all.
Congratulations to Miss Kamara for coming on board. Let me just say it quickly. I didn't have a chance to get it. I think we need to be careful, when we talk and not talk individuals. Alice Cummings, for all that I know, is not gay. Alice Cummings is married.
The more y'all keep saying the same thing, people keep hearing it. Why are you bringing it up?
He's a married man.
Mr. Please
I will say this. The remarks that are being attributed to him were taken out of context. They took a snippet of what he said. He struggles what he said. He struggled with understanding how to deal with it.
I personally believe he's not gay, but it's propaganda that's been running around.
And exactly, that's why I wanted to say. I don't believe.
Who gave him the propaganda?
I don't believe you believe. He is, and so we want to be careful. On the other hand, Jeff Koji was sanctioned because he facilitated and encouraged and abetted violence. He went to Sawyer's funeral and had people bloodied. Sir Joseph has said that kind of action has led to people being killed. I don't think we can debate that. I don't think that is individual character assassination. I just wanted to make sure, we're clear and we draw the lines, as we talk here. But
Jeff Koji has not killed anyone. Jeff Koji has not killed anyone. He did not aid and abet anybody. That is malicious and.
So are you telling me you didn't see him at a university campus with those children? You didn't see him?
So if he went to a university campus, that means he encouraged somebody to go and do violence there.
Actually, yes, he did.
Look at the videos.
Come on,
yes, he did.
Mr. Nagbe.
Yes.
Everybody went to the university campus.
Thank you. Look at the videos.
No, you're wrong, Jerome. No, Jerome, you're wrong. There was a specific. Jerome, there was a specific.
Listen, when you guys will be fair here, because Serena Seafood went to the university campus,
no, but
and you saw what it did to him.
No, you saw when
Twin went to the campus, what it did to him.
Apple and oranges.
Don't say that.
No, there was a specific program here in honor of the late
Dr. Same thing.
Not the same thing. Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
Not the same thing. When they're on
I was immoral here.
You know what, Mr. Diggs? Thank you. Let's leave it there. But let me close out by reading what our brother here sent me, and the summary is that they're appealing to the closing argument to allow them to appear on the platform as they're preparing for their inauguration. So I think that please put it in our chat room as well, so that the big boys are not here. Only the beginners, so the beginner here. So the deep way in the back, so they can also. But congratulations to you and the team, and I know you'll do well. Thank you very much again for the show.
The gentleman reached out to me, and I told him I pushed on 30 minutes on Friday for them to come and make their case. So I don't know why he put this here, because they had reached out to me. I told them find 30 minutes on Friday, come out here and tell us who you are, because we like Liberians doing well in foreign countries. So, I don't know why he did, but he had
your problem is solved, young man. Sylvester is here, Mr. Gayman.
He could have said it again. Listen, in politics, you cannot allow precious time to go to waste. I gave him time to close. He just sent this to me. I thought he was going to read it. He didn't.
Mr. Gayman, you always misusing it for your title. You misusing it too much. You talk about everybody on the show. Eh?
Of course, that's what I'm talking. So that's why
you're appealing to the man to let you appear, and then you're going to attack you.
Pewee, what do you think we should? You got to teach a man diplomacy. He know diplomacy. You got to teach him how to get your way.
Yeah, and so man, listen. There's sometimes.
But now Friday, I will not even let you on the show, because you will remain in the back.
Yeah, when the team coming,
the team not even coming. The team not coming. Nobody from Rwanda coming here. Go ahead, Mr. Pewee.
Well, I'm going to pay to appear 1,000.
Aha, there you go. Now they're gonna send you an invoice. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We discuss a lot of topics. Don't forget your person of the week on Friday. And I still think somebody just sent me a text here. They thought that I was not going to read the this report that had Musa Ability name in it, because they felt like we were going to be biased. We are associated with Musa Ability, so we will not read anything that is negative against him. That is not why we are here. The man himself was on here when he said it is a serious problem and it affects everybody. And he said whatever the government does with his son, he's okay with it. He was not going to interfere. Somebody else pointed out that his son was given a break. Okay? We are not saying it was right or wrong. We didn't say he was guilty, he wasn't guilty. We are reading what's in the paper. This is what the commissioner said. There's a disparity. If we're going to fight drugs in Liberia, we have to be consistent. We have to be fair across the board. So you didn't expect me, because Musa Ability name is in the report, so we will squash the report. That's not how it works here. So whoever sent me the text, shame on you. That's not how we operate it. We see you guys on tomorrow. Thursday, guys.
Hey, Gayman, let me make a quick comment. When Musa's son was released, he was released based on the technicality that when you're a pre-trial detainee, and I think after 2 or 3 terms of court, and you haven't faced the judge, they can release you. And so that's one of the problems in the country with the criminal justice system. We have a lot of folks that are sitting in South Beach, pre-trial detainees, that sit there for a whole year, will go through like 3, 4, 5 terms of court. It just happened in a case that he had a lawyer, and the lawyer father thinks that my client been locked up, and you guys are going through like 3 different terms of court. And then the judge said, okay, based on the law, release him. But then he went back to jail, went to trial, found guilty, and got sentenced. So I don't see no preferential treatment. The main thing the human rights lawyers should be focusing on is criminal justice reform. That people that cannot afford a lawyer can have the same access to the law. That's my point there.
Musa Ability is trending. Good things are happening. So people were attacking him. I think he understands that. Everybody knows that. Well, guys, let's do this again tomorrow. Thank you. And our friends in the studio.
Always find a time to put a CMC plug in.
You see.
I tell you.
The ANC people. Sarah, don't sound the ANC people.
Somebody send you a private message that we just want to leave it as a given.
The ANC, that was an ANC person. That was the ANC person that said it to me. Now, thank you guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay then.